Dude, get me up, please, dude. Dude, I got the ray gun, please.
Welcome to Jack and Geek.
I'm Crip.
And I'm the Crypt Keeper. And today we're going with our second gaming podcast. We're talking up about Black Ops Zombies.
Well, Call of Duty Zombies.
Call of Duty
'Cause it didn't
Zombies.
start in Black Ops.
Yeah, but people just call it Black Ops Zombies.
Yeah, but we might end up talking about the other ones as well.
We probably will.
Probably not World War II zombies.
You don't think so?
Probably
No.
not.
God, no.
Okay, this time we are have our guest of Shadow.
What's up?
He's back for our gaming. He's probably going to be the one to know the most about the games.
I don't know about that one. I'll probably know.
We're kind of in the middle.
Kind of in the middle, both of y'all.
So, zombies in general in Call of Duty started in 2010, 2008 actually, when World at War released. At the spoiler alert, just in case you haven't played the game, and if you haven't, I highly recommend you do it. It's a great game. Now that I've gotten the warning over, in the very last cutscene, you are in a plane that goes down. The reason is unknown, at least during the cutscene. You start seeing these figures move, and they start running at you. It's scary, and I didn't play World at War whenever it first came out, but everyone who did talked about how horrifying it was, because most people had finished the game at night.
It was very much a found footage type thing. They would set it up.
And after that cutscene, you end up going to a small little... Alright, I know this word is very triggering nowadays, but please bear with me. A Nazi camp.
Uh-oh.
And it is a entirely concrete building that is super enclosed, and you are having to survive the undead. This was the first time in Call of Duty where a wave-based game mode was introduced. So most people were confused. You see these wooden barriers, and there's zombies breaking down the barriers. You have no idea what to do, because whenever it was there, you weren't looking at the windows. You were just trying to shoot them. You didn't walk up to it and see, oh, you have to press this button to build the barrier.
You know what's wild as hell? A couple years back, we had a PS2. I got the PS2 version of World at War just to play the old version of Zombies, because they've remastered it, but it's not the OG version. I found out the PS2 version didn't come with zombies.
Yeah.
There were versions of World at War that did not come with zombies
That
at all.
sucks.
You had to get the Xbox 360 version or PC version to
Really?
get zombies.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, there were certain copies that the branch of company that made the zombies part of it didn't work on that version.
Damn.
I didn't know why it was like that. I thought it was always because, alright, I love the PS2 just as much as everybody, but it wasn't a particularly powerful console.
No.
No, it was just the fact that they were working on specific versions, and by the time they got to that version, it was time to put the game out.
Imagine just you're playing on PS2 for 3 or 4 years on World at War, and then you finally get to the PS3, and someone's like, dude, do you remember zombies on World at War?
The fuck you talking
What?
about zombies?
There was zombies?
Today, we made some Perca-Colas. We made Juggernaut, Speed Cola, and Quick Revive.
The trio.
And so we're going to try these. We made Shadow some non-alcoholic versions. But Elfie and I made these. We actually bought some bottles and some caps. So,
You might hear some popping. And
yeah,
some
so you're
metal.
going to hear some popping if we can get the damn thing to open up. If I can.
Don't mess up.
Oh, got one.
Got one going.
I swear if you'd have
I
shattered
guess
that bottle.
I guess I'll go for...
Go for Jug first.
Okay. My favorite perk is Speed Cola by far.
Yeah, but we gotta get that extra damage before they show up.
Yeah. You got problems?
Yes, I
Don't
do.
open it sideways. It'll spill out.
Yeah, I'm not going to be a drinker. I can tell that. I can't even open a bottle properly.
Oh, there we
There it
go.
goes.
Yeah,
There it goes.
Yeet.
Okay. I will open
swear these are gonna be gross.
Oh, they're
It
probably
smells-
gross.
The one I have straight up smells like a Jolly Rancher.
It's Campari is the main ingredient. When I tried Campari by itself, I didn't really like it.
Yours is very cherry, probably.
Probably.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's try it.
Nope.
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 Nope. Nope.
That's a nope.
I don't know. That tastes really weird.
Ah, God, and it sticks with you.
Yeah, it does. Ew.
Oh, God.
Alright, so let's get into what exactly Juggernog is. Juggernog is a Perk-Cola. That is the official name. Don't get mad at me. And what it does is it makes it to where you are a tanking beast, at least in terms of zombies. In zombies, you
It's
can
nice.
take 2 hits before you go down. Well, you can take 1 actually, and then the second hit is what makes you go down. It makes it to where you can take, I believe it is an extra hit. Either that or it's 2 extra hits. I do not remember the actual.
Just to let you know, if
I
you hear
apologize.
background noise, Puffy's back in the background. She's trying the drinks.
I'm being responsible and drinking coffee, but it's not.
Oh,
anything.
gosh.
But
That was
each
bad.
now, hopefully, if I do my job properly, we should have gameplay for this.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
For a YouTube
For
channel.
a YouTube,
For a YouTube channel. Shameless plug. I don't know what our call.
Tribunal Entertainment.
Let's go.
But in zombies, Juggernog is revered as probably the best perk.
It's one of those, the basics that you need just
Yeah.
about every game.
Yeah, you gotta get Jug.
We have a curse here in this family of quick revive.
Don't even look at it.
We refuse to get it.
Don't even look near it.
Juggernog is just one of those, if you want to survive to rounds 30, 40, 50, and if you are one of those people that can, maybe even 60.
The thing is later on you want to do a little train so your other guys can go and get stuff done. If you don't have Jug and you got to sit there and let the thing hit you, you could just get fucked by a crawler.
If you guys don't know what a train is, if you don't play Call of Duty, it is a terminology for bringing all the zombies. Well, it doesn't have to be all of them. It's just has to be
whatever
the ones in the
grouping you
immediate
have
area.
at the end of the round.
And you sit there and you'll run around something that's long enough to where the zombies won't turn around and come at you. I mean, if you have, like,
You're basically just being bait for the rest of your team.
it's very valuable that people do that.
Yes.
The first time I remember doing that, I was like, "What the hell are y'all talking about?"
Yeah.
Because
Different terminologies.
Because the terminology is bad.
Yes.
So the first time I heard it, I was like, "What
But
the hell?"
but the terminology has been shortened. People who know. Who those who don't, look it up.
It's
Yeah.
just a train now.
Yeah.
And then I've always never been the biggest fan of. No, that's the wrong phrasing. I've always been a really big fan of Juggernog due to one factor, and this was removed in the later games, but this is highly important for World at War, Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2. Double hitting zombies. I've always hated that.
Yeah.
Zombies are not supposed to hit you twice. They're supposed to hit you once and then restart the cycle.
Yeah.
But sometimes the game would glitch and they would smack you
Bam,
on the
bam.
ass twice and
Yep.
you would be down
Yep.
instantly. I've had too many runs where I've gotten slapped to death by one zombie.
Yeah.
And then my friends would sit there and be like, "How did you die to one zombie?"
The collisions just stack up.
Yeah.
Well, like Crip said about having to take the hits from a zombie, when you have a crawler and you got to let it hit you, sometimes it'll hit you more than once.
Yeah, sometimes
Yeah.
it will do that double collision. If you don't have Jug, you go down and then you're screwed.
Yeah.
Because then the crawler most of the time dies.
Now, to those of you who play zombies who listen, there are 2 different variations of crawler. There are the ones that you blow their legs up and they're literally just a crawler, and then you have the Nova crawlers,
I hate those damn things.
i.e. the worst thing in zombies history.
No.
Yes.
No.
No.
God, no.
Yes. yes, by
They're
far.
bad. They're bad, but I don't think they're the worst.
Dude,
On Moon, they are so annoying.
half the special zombies that they started coming out with. Oh,
No, those aren't even nearly as bad because they blow up and then they slow you down, and then here comes the double hitting zombie.
I'd rather that than the fucking thing from Origins. Like, I love Origins, but when that other thing shows
Oh,
up,
the Panzer.
yeah, fuck. You're done. If that thing shows up while you're doing a little train, you're done.
Alright, well, I think that leads us into the second perk drink we made. Of course, again, non-alcoholic for me.
But probably still gross.
Probably still gross.
I hate the fact that I have to emphasize that, but we have to.
Yeah. Gonna be gross.
For legal reasons, that's a joke.
There you go.
Thank you.
For legal reasons, that was a quote.
Oh, shit. Okay, this one smells a little better.
Does it smell better?
The second perk we're going into is my favorite perk of all time, Speed Cola. What that does, it makes it to where you do everything faster. You rebuild barriers faster, you reload faster. You can also throw, I believe in the old games, you could throw grenades faster.
Damn.
I don't know about that one though, so if you would like to fact check me, please do.
Yeah, it smells
Please do. Hit us up on our YouTube channel. Hit us up on Instagram. Let us know what we get wrong.
And if I get anything wrong, just put in the comments with a big asterisk. I mean, you don't have to do that either, but just put, Shadow, you big dummy, this is what it was.
This one's
It's
better.
better.
It's not good.
It's
But it's
not
better.
good, but it's better.
Yeah.
Here she comes.
Come on, puppy. Let's try it.
Here she comes all wiggling over and shit.
Fuck off.
Whereas the last one was Campari. The one for this one is what is that called?
This
the melon
Midori?
Midori.
this is a
Midori.
drink that definitely tastes like it just needs alcohol.
I think his would be the same because Midori's not alcoholic, is it?
Midori is alcohol.
Is it?
Yeah. Basically, for his, I use different types of syrup and food coloring.
This one's
But
not as bad.
It's not as bad, but it's definitely.
I can't.
Yeah, no, this definitely
I'm not
just
gonna
tastes
drink
like
that one.
alcohol was required to make it.
Yeah.
And I don't get it.
It's trying to be some kind of lime. It's
So
trying.
it's
It's trying to be flat
lime.
Sprite.
Oh.
Alright, well,
Going back to the types of zombies that are bad, the ones on Shangri-La suck ass.
oh.
The fire
Sorry.
one just vibing.
Yeah,
I
fuck
think
those.
so. As much as I would love to sit here and smell the quick revive bottle,
Oh god.
I kind of want to skip over it just for the fact of I don't want my day to be ruined by
We'll get
this.
to those later.
Alright,
We'll
so
get to those a good bit
I
later.
think it's time to lead into maps. Now, we're not going to talk about our favorite maps right now because we probably all have different favorite maps.
Probably.
Probably.
Well, except
Oh,
for
maybe.
these two.
Yeah,
I-
it's probably the same.
I
Maybe.
probably, well, actually, I know for a fact that I have a different map because I'm not the biggest fan of Ascension.
Ascension's not my favorite map.
Is it not really?
No, it's not.
Wow.
It has a special place in my heart because it was my first ever DLC,
Yeah.
but it's not my favorite map.
Okay,
Alright.
tell them the story about that map.
What about it?
How
Ascension.
about you waiting on it?
Oh, the fact that I had to wait up all night because our internet was like, I'm gonna take the entire night to download.
So, with each of them, we're going to start off at World at War. Now, I do apologize if I mispronounce some of these names. I do not speak German or Japanese.
We're dirty Americans. Just leave it there. We're dirty Americans. We're not.
As a World War II historian, I should be embarrassed by that, but you know what?
You'll learn German one day.
So the first map you start off in is Nacht der Untoten, which I believe means Night of the Undead.
Night of the Undead.
And that's the first map that you start off in. It's technically not the original map, but in order of playing zombies, it is the original map. Then you get to the canonical original map, which is, I can't remember its name.
Is that the rook?
It is Vrot, which is a mental.
I think it just means asylum.
Yeah, I think it means asylum.
I don't know. I've never looked it up.
I'm pretty sure it just means asylum.
Yeah.
But it is a mental ward, and the zombies attack it. This is where you meet your original protagonist, which I don't know anything about them because It was just like a military group.
What was it? Peter something. Can't remember his name exactly.
But
It means insane or crazy.
but the original thing is the fact that a military group got sent in to stop a zombie to stop a virus from spreading. They didn't exactly know what it was. They just knew that Hitler went out with a bang.
Dang.
Damn.
It was Peter McCain. That's what it was.
The one thing about that map, to me, is the whole thing about being able to flush the toilet.
That was funny.
All right, to those of you who do not get that,
Big flush.
all right, so I think this would be better if we start off with on the original map for that. On the original map, there are these red barrels that you can blow up. And after you blow up all of the barrels on the map, a song starts playing, and the zombies start running. I don't remember if World at War had this. I know Black Ops had this.
Yeah.
Of course Black Ops had it because Crip liked doing that every damn map.
Yeah.
But the whole thing about it is the fact of, you want to feel intensity,
Hard mode.
get them running. It's they only run for the duration of the song, though. So it was always
Until like
Can you
way higher
handle it?
rounds.
well, obviously, but
But like that's an early hard mode.
on Verrucht, you get to a toilet that you can flush, and if you flush the toilet 3 times, a song starts playing.
Yep.
I don't remember the name of the song, and I'm not
Except for the example of the blowing up the different barrels. I think almost everything to activate the songs was in a form of 3.
Yeah.
So.
Although, if I remember correctly, all of the barrels were on 3 sides of.
Maybe, but I
Not
just
that
know there was a buttload of barrels to shoot.
The one thing I didn't like about this map was the fact that you start off separated.
Yeah.
That leads me into one of my next points. On the map Verrucht, you have a door that blocks you from 2 of your teammates. You have 1 teammate with you, and you have to turn on the power. The power was not in the original Zombies map, so most people did not understand what it was. And people were kind of just sitting there like, what is this?
That was the
The
thing.
fuck am I looking at?
That was the thing. Is like things that are very zombie staples were slowly released through each map in the original.
And then you get to the next map, which is a Japanese map named Shinonuma, which is canonically the original zombie infestation, I believe.
It's where they first started messing with elements.
That's the one with the big meteor,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And this is where you start to unravel the relative mystery behind the zombies. Element 115. Now, if you actually go look at the periodic table of elements, 115 is not a fucking thing that starts zombies. That was just a thing for the game, and they decided to make
It's
it
fiction.
science.
Yeah, it's fiction, people.
And what element 115 was, it was a highly radioactive space material. I think that would be the easiest way to describe it.
Big spacey boy for now, at least.
Yeah, until you get to later on.
We'll get there.
I'm going to have to break down this entire story.
Nah, we're just gonna go to the gist of it. Because let's be honest, if you're clicking on this, you've played some of it.
You know it's really bad? I just looked it up. The element 115 is Moscovium. Russian.
Russia.
Yeah.
Shit.
Fucking Russians.
But
Hey, we may have Russian listeners.
Commies.
Russian viewers, you are still welcome, but we disagree with your politics. That's all you need to know.
They're leaning in a different direction.
Oh lord.
I'm
You
sorry,
guys
I'll stop stalling. Yeah,
Tommy
shit.
jokes.
Let's go.
Alright, so in Shinonuma, it is probably the most well-known zombies world record. The world record round survived to on Shinonuma is over 9,000.
What?
Because there's one core mechanic that allows people to get up to that. Only 20 zombies are ever allowed in a round.
Really?
So if you just have the ammo, you can make it to thousands.
If there's only 20 zombies per round, why the fuck ain't we got higher than we've done?
Well, I mean, there's the luck factor, the skill factor, and both of them are bad for us.
Knowing how to manipulate the game factor.
And running out of ammo.
And Shinonuma, if I do remember correctly, was the first zombies game. Well, was the first zombies map to feature the Hellhounds.
Yes.
And the Hellhounds were these dogs that were zombies. There's a story to it, but you don't unravel that until the last map.
Yes.
Derice. And in Shinonuma, you start going through and you get all these different weapons. And if I also remember correctly, this is the first map with the Wunderwaffe, which is a lightning gun. If I'm wrong on that, I will, I'll show it. I don't know how I'll show it. And this leads on to Derice, which is arguably the best map.
It's
from
the
World at War.
culmination of everything that all the other maps had good, and then more good.
Yeah.
It just was. Mwah.
And this introduces one of the core mechanics of zombies to this day, Pack-a-Punch.
Yep.
Pack-a-Punch is this badass machine that would take your guns and make them shoot fucking lasers.
It also introduced a slightly less important to the story, but used quite a bit throughout, teleporters.
Yeah. The teleporters give off more of the story than people realized at that point, because you start going through these teleporters and you're like, well, why do these teleporters have such short range? But you realize these science experiments that went on there and why the zombies were started.
They were teleporting shit from point A to point B just to get it to work.
So it was kind of like the movie The Fly.
Yeah.
Where they had the teleporters
Right next to
each other,
Yep.
and that kind of
It was just
fucked him up.
once you can move one thing from one point right next to each other, then you can slowly increase the range. And that's basically what they did.
And you were correct about it being Shinonuma was the first map.
Alright, cool. Pack-a-Punch cost 5,000 points. We haven't touched on points much. Points are what you get for damaging zombies, building
You get to
barriers,
use your
doing anything.
score as money.
And you get 10 score per bullet fired at a zombie.
Yep.
And you have these things called point guns, where they do very low damage, and they are only meant to get you points. At high rounds, you do not want these.
No.
But since it's Derice, we get to talk about one of the best guns in Call of Duty history. The Kar 98K.
Fuck that. That ain't the best one.
It one-shot till round 145.
That ain't the best gun. Wait till you get to the giant.
It one-shots from round 1 to 145 when you pack-a-punch it.
Damn.
I don't care what you want to say about
What's
its
the
fire.
ammo capacity on that, though?
I believe it was 20 bullets in a clip, and it had piercing damage.
Did it?
How many did you just get in all?
If you were to shoot at the head, you could get up to 5 kills per bullet.
Damn.
If you did it right.
If they were lined up just
Yeah,
right.
if you were good, you could get 5 kills per bullet.
Damn, that's actually pretty good.
That is
So it
pretty
is arguably one of the best guns in zombies history.
Probably.
If not up there as second best. Obviously, there is still one undefeated champion, but we cannot talk about him right now.
No, fuck that. No.
What?
I think I know what you're going to say. Fuck that. I hate that gun.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
So, in Derice, you can find a multitude of Easter eggs. There are 2 in the original game. You have a radio that is under the right side if you're facing from spawn.
Isn't under one of the grates, or is it the one that's under the stairs?
It's under like a little platform.
Yeah.
And you go and activate the radio, and you hear him training a zombie.
Mm-hmm.
Not as in like running around, actually training him like with whips and shit. He's like hitting him, telling him no.
Yeah.
And it's like, what were they trying to do with these zombies? Were they trying to turn them into mega soldiers?
Who was it?
They,
Who was training the zombie?
Don't remember. I believe it was Maxis.
Who is Maxis?
Maxis is like the mastermind, I guess, but also not.
The original doctor, basically. He was the Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And at Derice, you learn of these test subjects throughout, and there's nothing to like talk about them. I believe it's like one board that mentions them, and the test subjects end up being your main protagonists throughout the rest of the series. And and then one of them is named Dr. Edward Richtofen.
The other one that isn't mind wiped.
Or, depending on your dialect, Richtofen.
Yes.
And he is a Nazi scientist who experimented with 115, and he is actually fucking insane.
Yeah.
It's said that Element 115 is what changed him.
Element 115 really messes with your psychosis, and that's what they ended up using to wipe the minds of the other people. Is they tortured them and had them exposed to the element long enough that they couldn't remember who they were, where they're from. But it drove Richtofen crazy.
And they talk about that more later in the story.
And that right there leads us into one of the also core mechanics of zombies, the Easter eggs. If you don't know what an Easter egg is, you're probably not American. Or you're probably not British.
Or you're
Or
probably
any
not
other-
playing video games.
Or any other country that celebrates Easter. I don't know how
But
many.
also, like, it's just become a gaming term, period.
Yeah, just gaming terms.
So what Easter egg means is, just like in Easter, you'll try to find these little secret eggs that are hidden around. And in gaming, it's no different. You're trying to find these either glitches that lead into something kind of funny, or you're trying to find out some series of events that needs to happen for something secret to happen.
In the Reese is teddy bears.
Mm-hmm. And it turns on a song. Now, there is another one for, I believe, the remastered Derice.
No,
For the giant?
that was also in the original Derice.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, the
what you
fly
do-
trap or whatever.
Yeah.
There's a monkey bomb that you can get, and there's a furnace. And if you throw the monkey bomb into the furnace, you hear a little girl come on the audio. And she says something along the lines of, "What's wrong? Teddy only wanted to play."
There's also the one where you shoot the thing and then you do the hide and seek. That's in the original as well, where you have to go find the three
That is
different
true.
toys,
Yeah.
and then shoot them, and then you get a little bonus.
The first one that I ever played was Derice.
Yeah.
And when Crip got me to play it and told me to put the headphones on, and you could hear the little girl,
Crying
scared the
in the
shit out
corner.
of me.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
Yeah.
That's horrible.
And that should wrap up. I don't know the Easter eggs for the other maps.
There's
I
a
do
lot
apologize.
packed into Derice,
Yeah, there's a lot.
so that's one we really wanted to get to.
Although, I want to touch on another gun. Now, most people do not like this gun, but I love it just for the fact of that it is so comically stupid, and it's the trench gun.
I
Yeah.
knew you were gonna bring up the
The
trench.
trench gun is so amazing. I love it. It's so comically bad that it's good, and I'll get it and I'll pack a
It's
punch it
straight up-
every time.
Straight up looks like a pipe, dude.
See, it was good, but I was not
It
good.
wasn't good.
I was not good with it at all.
There was
you
no
could,
being good
You
with
could
it.
be good with it if you,
You
wanted
could be
to.
good with it.
This leads us on to Black Ops 1. And this is probably the most famous Call of Duty of all time. And if you haven't heard of Black Ops 1, even if you're not a gaming fan,
It's
you're living under a rock.
It's the magnum opus. It is the perfect example of zombies.
Yeah.
And this brings us into Kino der Toten, which means, in German, Theater of the Undead.
Yes.
Yes.
And as the name suggests, you're in a theater. A dilapidated theater with a bunch of zombies and the Nova Crawlers. But
Yeah, Nova Crawlers. are
this
out
was the
now.
first map that had them. The other maps in World at War kind of teased them. Because I do believe, if I'm correct, that Derice had like a picture of one
They may have.
in the map. But in Kino der Toten, they're climbing on the walls and shit coming at you, and it's so horrifying. And that was the first map I ever played. And as a little kid, it gave me nightmares. Because
It's pretty
those
spooky.
those Nova Crawlers actually scared the shit out of me.
Okay.
And I hated them.
I played Black Ops Zombies before I played World at War Zombies.
Mhm.
And I didn't know the previous story
Yeah.
at the time whenever I had played it. A lot of people my age had not played World at War because it had been a few years, so it was kind of like the new generation. Our generation was coming in
It's
to the zombie storyline.
it's kind of funny to say how that it's been a couple years, even though it was 2 years from World at War.
Yeah,
to
but like
Black
it was
Ops.
just that space in
It was
between where
that
like my
little gaming
generation.
renaissance.
Yeah. So when we came in, we didn't have the previous knowledge. So there was a huge rumor that even online, I'm sure it's on there, that
The
like
zombie Hitler.
yeah, you could get to around 99 and a zombie Hitler would show up, and it was gonna be like some Wolfenstein shit. And I would always try to get there, and then I was like, this doesn't make any sense for zombie Hitler to show up. And then I started looking things up, and I was like, yeah, there's no zombie Hitler.
So, the rumor, if I do remember correctly, was started on the early workings of, video game websites.
Yeah.
Because most video game websites were not as established. Like, IGN was not a big thing when Black Ops first came out. I believe Black Ops is what made
It was
them,
still
like,
kind of
big.
very YouTube based only.
Yeah. And so a bunch of people got together who had played World at War and was like, let's start a rumor. I think it would be funny. And funny wasn't. Yeah.
Machinima was still a recognized gaming company.
Wow.
Got him.
Wow, that's
got
mean.
I used to fucking watch Machinima
Got
like
him.
crazy. I used
That's
to love
insane.
Machinima ain't shit anymore.
People who enjoy Machinima go ahead and have fun. They are long past their glory
but
days.
it's
Minecraft
barely-
build challenges.
It's barely anything anymore. Like
Yeah.
it's
See,
a shadow of its
I watched
former
the
self.
shit out of Machinima when Black Ops 2 was out.
Yeah.
So, in Black Ops, hopefully we'll do another podcast on the multiplayer side of it because that's where I am the expert.
Yeah.
So, in the zombies for it, in Kino der Toten, you have the teleporter again, like in Doris, and everyone was like, oh, why is there only one? Why does there have to only be one? And it's in the same room as Power, which is the main theater complex. I don't know if complex would be the right word to
It
use
works.
there, but you get what I mean. And you run down this long line. You can't go into any of the seats, so I'm sorry if you wanted to watch a movie, you can't. You run down this long line. You turn on Power, and then you turn around and you see it sitting there. Juggernog. You see it right in the corner next to the Bowie knife. The Bowie knife is a giant knife that's on the wall. It's been in every single Zombies game ever since Black Ops. I don't believe it was in...
No, in Transit it was a hatchet instead of a Bowie knife.
It was the same thing.
Same thing though, yeah.
And Kino der Toten was the kind of start for 99% of the zombie player community.
That one, for me, still resonates just because, like, for some reason, the atmosphere was just on point.
Yeah.
The broken seats surrounding you, the dust, the dirt, you could just see the age coming off the buildings. They really put a lot into just the atmosphere of the map, and it still holds up.
See, I'm about to trigger a lot of Call of Duty fans. I do not like Kino der Toten. It's not the fact that it's I don't think it's designed well. It's just not my cup of tea.
And that's fine.
And there's nothing wrong with
But
that.
I just like it map design wise. I think it just, like I said, the atmosphere of it really makes it scarier than it really is at its core.
so
See, I like the part with taking the transporter and going into the Samantha's room.
Little camera
and
room
that
too.
and that is another Easter egg for this map.
Yep.
With Kino der Toten, when you activate the teleporter, it's not like Doris where you have to sprint to the middle of the map. You don't have to do. You do, but you have to activate that first.
Yeah.
Unlike in the other thing where that was the ending.
Yeah.
And you can teleport to a random room. Now you always end up at the same place, which is a pack-a-punch room, which is where the actual projector is, where like all the film is.
And
You can actually play a movie on it.
And you can stand there and laugh at your friends while the zombies are going after them still in the theater.
I'm gonna go ahead and give some news to anyone. If you ever play Black Ops to this day, if you see a motherfucker in that room and he's only standing there, he's probably ran out of grenades to throw.
Yeah.
Bro, I straight up would always pull out my pistol, get the Mustang and Sally upgraded, and then just sit there at the window.
I love the Mustang
Alright.
Sally.
We'll talk about that in a second because I have quite a bit to say about that.
But you teleport to Samantha's room. Samantha is basically at this point the controller, the being above controlling the zombies as a revenge for murdering her father Maxis to Richtofen. Richtofen ended up trying to kill both of them,
Yeah.
and it didn't work killing Samantha. So Samantha is now some ethereal being controlling these zombies.
Now, the storyline behind how she does it won't get covered until we get to the last map of Black Ops. And this technically doesn't even cover the full story.
No.
This only covers not even half.
If you're an H.P. Lovecraft fan, stay around because it's very Lovecraftian.
Yeah. And in Kino der Toten, there are more radios you can activate.
Yep.
I believe there's 2. There's one in the outer building from the theater where they'll do like the audio and shit. And some of these have to do with Nazis due to the fact of there's Nazi symbols everywhere.
It's a very Nazi themed at this point game. Later on, it strays away from the Nazi themes, but at this point, it's still quote what they called Nazi zombies.
Yeah.
And what the whole thing with it was, and you could go outside and you could tell a clear difference in atmosphere. It was a bright, sunny day, everything's well lit, and then you go back into the theater and you can't see shit.
You can't.
All you see is just these black figures running through smoke at you, and it's terrifying.
One small detail that I liked when it was still quote Nazi zombies was some of the zombies goose stepped.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like that was so ingrained in them that even though they're dead and now zombies, they still walk that way.
Yeah.
Like that was such drilled into their brains to walk that way that even in their undead state, they're still doing it.
So, this brings me into my favorite gun. This isn't the best gun in zombies, let me add, but this is my favorite gun in Call of Duty, in gaming history, actually. The MP40. This
Fucking love the
is
MP40,
the
dude.
greatest gun, in my opinion.
It's so good.
But it is statistically not the best gun.
Anytime
so
I can get it in any of the Call of Duties, I'm fucking grinding.
Now, in Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which is a multiplayer, mainly based game, zombies didn't come out till later, I mained the MP40, and I did incredibly well with it.
It's so good, dude.
So,
It feels nice.
the MP40 is the ultimate SMG. It's got perfect... Well, once pack punch, it has the perfect ammo capacity. It has very little
It's
recoil. It has
light
a
as
good rate
shit.
of fire. Light as shit. It barely moves.
But it fires like crazy.
It's literally a dream gun.
It's so good.
Now, in Black Ops 1, you end up leaving
Yes.
Kino der Toten. And that leads us to the second map, which I believe is Ascension.
Yes. I
And
believe
in
so.
Ascension, you are at a cosmonaut, or you're at a Russian cosmonaut
Base, basically.
base. And if you don't know what cosmonaut means, it involves space. So,
Astronaut.
Russian astronaut, but they decided to go Cosmo.
Yeah.
so the whole thing about it, and I guess talk about one of my other favorite guns in this, but you start off with everything black and white, and this was one of the coolest
That's
things
so cool design.
that Zombies has done. And I wish a new map would do that, where you start off black
But
and
if
white.
they did it again, it'd be like you're just doing it because.
But I want them to do the throwback.
Imagine doing that as a whole map, though.
Everything's black and white.
That'd be crazy.
Alright. That I'll add that later on whenever we start talking about Black Ops 3 and one of their maps. I think that would have been better in black and white.
Okay.
But there is such a weird tone in the air as soon as you start playing Ascension. And this unravels the biggest fucking like clusterfuck of story you will ever see in a video game.
Your controller immediately like as you're coming down on the lander right at the
Yep.
beginning, just fucking vibrating like crazy.
And you start off in a room with a testing machine to make astronauts feel the G-forces that they would feel on a rocket ship. And if you
don't
get slapped
duck-
by it,
If you don't fucking duck when you're going through
You're
there, you're
dead.
done.
And you can always tell new players because they will just walk in there. And
It doesn't matter what's going on, what you've got, you're gonna get one or two shot by that thing,
Yeah.
depending on jugs.
along with rumors for Kino der Toten, this map also had its big thing for a rumor.
Yes.
The biggest rumor for this map was the fact that you could jump on that.
Really?
There was a rumor started, and you can't do this. I've done it every type of way that you possibly can. I've attempted this possibly 1,000 times, and I've died probably 1,000 times trying it. You cannot jump on it.
No.
So please do not start that map going, hey, there's a hole in, there's some railing cut out right here. Can I possibly jump on the damn thing?
New Park Soda, by the way, in there. PhD Flopper.
PhD Flopper
And
is
that
one of the
shit-
funniest things.
That shit, for the first, month of Ascension being out, broke the game.
I don't like PhD.
Because...
Oh, I love PhD Flopper.
Because with PhD Flopper, for some reason, it made it to where, you know how you get outside of a map and it just kills you? That doesn't work anymore. So people would get on the outside of the landers, and when it would take off, they could jump on top of buildings.
Yeah.
And
All right,
PhD
so-
Flopper would make it to where they don't die.
Here, let me go ahead and explain why it does that. PhD Flopper, if you don't know what it does, you flop. Alright, so flopping is basically where you'll run, you'll press the B or the circle button, depending on what console you played on,
Called
and your dude would
dolphin diving.
fucking dive.
Dolphin diving.
And it was so funny, and you could dive into a horde of zombies and kill all of them
Yes.
upon landing.
You would basically be a living grenade.
And it eliminated explosive damage.
Yep.
So if you had the ray gun, which we didn't talk about in World at War, surprisingly,
I hate
which
that
is
gun.
the most famous gun from
I
Call of Duty.
hate the ray gun.
And Crip over here made a joke about it at the beginning of the podcast. If you'd like to go back, remember your time so you don't get lost. The whole thing is the fact the ray gun, it emits explosive damage. And if you're too close to it, you can kill yourself
It's
with
called
it.
splash damage.
Yes.
And PhD Flopper eliminated that, making the ray gun the best gun in the game at that point.
But it basically broke a lot of the damage that the game put on you.
That map was
And-
completely broken.
For like a month.
Yeah.
And the outside damage for the map was all explosive damage. That's all it was. It wasn't the fact that PhD Flopper eliminated fall damage, because you still got it. If you jump from too high, you would fall to your death and no one could save you.
Originally, when you would go outside the maps, you would fall down and then, you could be revived.
Yeah.
But with PhD Flopper, they had to increase the damage so much for the going outside the maps to keep people from being outside the landers and going on buildings, that it would completely just wipe your character. You'd be gone from the game.
Yeah.
It was hilarious because as soon as and they made it to where anytime someone did a glitch from then on out, it made Samantha laugh at them trying to do it when it completely wipes them.
But every single time they would patch one,
Yeah.
there
There
would
would
be
always
another
be another.
glitch.
Yeah, somebody would be like, all you gotta do is crouch this time.
I
Or
love that.
go a little bit to the left.
Because we would get that one where you stand on the railing.
I was just about to talk about that. There was one where at the very middle of the, well, not really the very middle, but what is
Middle,
essentially the middle, there was a lander pad, and you had some stairs that would go up to the right, and if you would go up those stairs, turn around, and you would do a specific action, or jump or something like that, I don't know how
It
to
was
do it.
jump over the railing, walk over. You could stand next to the railing and they couldn't touch you.
And the zombies would kind of just form up.
I loved that map for glitches so much. What made me
We haven't even talked about the other parts of this map.
well, I was going to talk about another part of the map right now. One thing that really made me shit is when I found out you can blow up the rocket.
Yes.
Yes, with the ray gun, or if you found Pack-a-Punch before it fired, which I don't know how
can't.
someone would do that.
You can't.
I'm sure someone's glitched into there before.
Somebody's glitched it, yeah.
It is the Porter's X-Ray 2, and it can blow up the rocket before it fires. No other gun can do this. You can't just shoot the
I've tried.
fuselage on a rocket and blow it up. Nope. You have to use this random ass ray gun you found.
I remember I was getting on with friends, and one of my friends was like, check this shit out. And they launched the rocket, and then shot it, and it exploded, and I was like, did we break the game? Can we not progress from here?
Now, before you make it to the first mystery box, well, it's not guaranteed to spawn there, but most people recognize it spawning there.
Yeah.
There is a gun on the wall called the Stakeout. It is a 6-round shotgun. Well, pump action shotgun. It is one of the greatest things you could ever see in that map.
Clean gun. It is a clean.
You would be running from a horde of zombies. You got no ammo. And then you come up the stairs and you see that beauty staring at you. Only about 1,500 points too, so it was a relatively cheap gun.
Cheap gun, yeah.
So,
And you could just buy it, and you just have unlimited power at your fingertips.
so do we want to talk about why it's not my favorite map? Because I can tell you exactly right now why it's not my favorite map.
Now, there is a big problem with Ascension.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest problem with Ascension is the fact that, well, at least the one that I have, that's the biggest problem. There are 3 different areas of the map, technically, that you have to use doors to get to. And each one of them have perks. And the perks can get fucked over by one thing. There was these monkeys
The damn.
that would
monkeys.
come down from space
Fuck
and
the
would
monkeys.
destroy the perks. And if you didn't protect the perks, they would take away
And
your
they're
perks.
2 inches fucking tall.
They were
And
hard-
you're
they were
literally
hard
just
to
sitting
shoot.
there blasting the ground so you don't lose your perks. And it's like, now somebody's got to go watch Jug.
Somebody's got to watch it, yeah.
Oh my
I always
God.
watched Speed Cola. Someone would always watch Jug. I never watched Quick Revive.
And how come they're 2 inches tall? I have to sit there and aim down at the ground, but these motherfuckers can ground pound and 2-shot me.
Yeah.
That was so annoying. I loved that map to death, but that really always killed the vibe every damn time.
And the thing with, and how you know it was about to happen, the sky would turn red. I don't know what the fuck monkeys coming down from space has to do with the weather.
Russia.
Russia. Just Russia.
You know what? That's fair.
Big red.
They're vodka types that are red, and all they did was pour it into like a gas machine.
Oh my
Well,
god.
fog machine. And they are so annoying to deal with. They literally ruined the entire vibe of the map.
Literally. When I start playing Ascension, half the time I don't even grab perks, even though I grab perks every other map, just because I don't want to deal with it. Because I think if you don't grab perks, monkeys just don't show up. I think.
No, I just believe they attack you.
Well, they're easier when they attack me. Because then I ain't got to
Um,
worry about going to a specific spot.
Now, there was always one perk that was hella easy to defend, and we've already raved about how good it was. PhD Flopper. You have
Yeah.
one door into there, and it wasn't a small little room like what happened with Jug. PhD had a pretty sizable room that you could sit there and you could chuck
Dude,
grenades.
the place that they put Jug was so fucking annoying to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that they made it that way because it's such a good perk, such a valuable perk, but just damn.
Dude.
Oh my god.
You want to talk about good perk placement? Speed Cola literally had the optimal place.
Oh god, yeah. That area where you could just be open.
Oh
and
my lord, dude. It was actually optimal on where it was.
But let's talk about one of the most stressful parts of Ascension. They started making the Easter eggs more complicated
Oh,
this
it was
time.
very complicated.
And this one just had to be the most fucking complicated ever.
Now, this one you had to break the game to do the Easter egg because you had to throw something outside of the map. You had to throw a black hole generator outside of the map.
But all 4 people had to have specific guns and specific grenades to do the Easter egg at the end. You can get all the way to the end, but if you don't all 4 have the right shit, you're done.
That's why we never did this one. We got
Now.
close, but we couldn't get the. We were sitting there at the box, couldn't get the
Because
right
we
way.
couldn't get the little dolls.
Oh.
That was the one thing stopping us. And we would sit there and we'd keep using the box and keep using the box, and we couldn't withstand the rounds.
Alright, so if anyone knows those Russian dolls, that it's like a big one and then you
Nesting
open it.
dolls. They're
Yeah.
called nesting dolls.
Oh, I never knew the name. I always
They
heard
have-
the actual Russian.
They
name.
have different names, but yes,
But
nesting dolls.
What is the Russian name?
I don't know, I don't speak Russian.
Oh, I thought you meant that you knew it.
No, I've always just heard that
Just
my entire
heard
life.
it, and you can't parrot it.
No, I just thought it'd be kind of cool to know what the actual Russian.
I
name
do
is.
apologize as much as I like to make jokes about communism. I don't know any Russian.
Communism.
Alright, well.
Do we want to do this while we're talking about the bad part of Ascension?
Yes, we can.
Oh god.
The monkeys ruined this. And we've decided we're going to try the quick revive.
And it's going to be bad.
My day will be ruined.
Okay,
Canonically, it's bad.
they're called the Matryoshka dolls?
Matryoshka. That does sound about right.
The ones we have now
Oh god.
are the quick revive.
Even in canon, they're bad.
Canonically, a man named Tank Dempsey, who is probably the most important character. Fuck anyone else who says otherwise. I've met that man in real life.
Steve,
so-
we love you.
Yep. You're so cool. We've met you twice already.
Gonna meet you again, I hope.
And you've been really nice each time. You were also Vmon.
Yeah.
Was it Vmon?
No,
from
not
Digimon?
Guillemon.
Guillemon.
Ugh.
Oh, did you already try it?
Ugh.
Let's go.
Are we going on to the next map?
Oh.
Yes.
Because,
I think we spent
Oh,
way
at
too
least
long
it
on
don't
that.
taste like fish, though.
because
in
Yeah,
the canon,
in
it
the
tastes
can
like fish.
fish, and that's the worst part.
Takio loves it.
If you're a pescatarian, sure, you
But
might love it.
a fish soda, though?
this is a lot better than the jug one.
But
That's not saying much.
That's not saying much.
You know what it kind of tastes
alright,
like?
so the next map,
Kind of tastes like a very bad Gatorade. Like a Gatorade that's been
Yeah.
sitting in the car.
the next map is probably the
My favorite. That's my favorite map. Call of the Dead.
That's not the next
That
map.
is the next map.
Shangri-La's next map.
No,
No,
Call of the
Shangri-La's
Dead
the
came
third
out
one.
first.
Shangri-La's right before Moon.
Yeah, Call of the
Yeah.
Dead was the very next map.
Mhm.
Because I remember when it came out, because by then I was heavily into the zombies.
Yeah, I stayed up whenever it came out. I remember. That was the first DLC I've ever stayed up for.
Yeah.
And then from then on out, every time there's been a DLC, I've always been up for it. Every time.
Oh my goodness.
But Call of the Dead was such a good map.
Alright. I think we need to, first, before we talk about the map, we need to pay respects.
Yes.
The legendary zombie movie creator, George Romero.
He's the guy that basically made zombies to what they are today.
Yes.
He was featured in the map as a boss zombie. May he rest in peace. May him not come back as a zombie this
Please
time.
don't.
Please don't.
As much as I would love for you to come back and start beating the shit out of people with your giant light that you had, that's not a favorable outcome. Thank you for making good zombie movies, though.
Yes.
We had a thing where it was good luck for us to run out into the water and knife George in the hair.
Just cut his ponytail.
Because
Yeah.
it had a big ass ponytail, and as long as I knew about George, he had that damn ponytail.
Yep.
And I was raised on something of always have a good luck charm.
Mhm.
Now, I don't have many good luck charms with zombies anymore because there's not many you can have. But every time I play Call of the Dead, I always knife George.
You gotta
in the back
jump
of
out
the
there.
head.
It had a crazy mechanic to where if you were in the water, you would progressively get slower and more frozen.
Yep.
So it was actually a risk to
do.
go out there.
And you had to jump or else you would freeze too fast.
Yeah.
Yep.
And this brings us to the next Easter egg. We can't talk about the map too much because of the fact that it was notorious for being a huge
Oh
map.
Yeah.
god, it was
So,
so
unlike
expensive.
Ascension, where we can sit here and we can break down each section of the map,
There-
we all remember it by heart.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
But there were so many areas that were like loops and tunnels and all.
There are three things we get to talk on, and I'm starting off with one of them: the Easter egg. Now there are two Easter eggs for the map. One of them was being able to turn George back into a human for a couple rounds.
Yeah.
Yes.
There was a gun that would turn zombies into CIA agents for some reason.
Ooh, and they just run around. Ah!
And you could turn them into that. Another Easter egg they had was you'd meet the main protagonist and you'd give them a little rod that wasn't used until way later on in the
Yeah.
game.
Just to let you know, you're not playing the main zombies, people.
You
if
are
you don't know.
playing Danny Trejo, the actor for Freddy Krueger,
No.
Danny Trejo's Machete.
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 Yeah.
Michael Rooker, who has been many different
I
things.
thought
Yeah.
one of them was Freddy Krueger.
Robert Englund.
Robert
Englund,
played
that's who
Freddy
it is.
Krueger.
Was Freddy Krueger.
And then, wasn't it
Sarah Michelle Gellar,
from
who was Buffy.
So you play quite a bit of known movie
Yeah,
actors.
it was a zombie movie they were making, and George came out and was like, "This zombie doesn't look real enough. Go back to makeup." And it turns out to be a real zombie.
And the zombie grabs him and throws him into the water and starts eating him.
Oh, it was just the perfect intro.
It was. It really was.
On Activision, if you ever want to reach out to us, just put a clip of that in your email.
Yeah,
Honestly,
I love this map. Like I said, this is my favorite map.
it was so good.
I loved it.
It was for the horror geeks.
Now, on to our third topic. The second topic I will talk about next, because it is very important. The third one is why Pebble doesn't like to play Zombies with Crypt. The 10-minute song that they
There's
had.
a 10-minute song, and I turn that bitch on
Every
damn
time.
Avenged Sevenfold. Not Ready to Die. One of the best songs in Call of Duty
It's
history.
a great song.
But it's 10 minutes worth of zombies running at Mach 2.
Everybody's trying to get their setups and shit. I'm running around with a pistol trying to turn on this song. Everybody's like, what are you doing? And I'm like, you'll see.
So this is the map where the MP40 became my baby.
Oh my god, it's so
Because on the ship that was crashed into like an ice area, the MP40 was the best gun on that map. And I will argue with anybody on that.
Another map where atmosphere was fucking everything.
Oh my lord, dude.
Everything.
The atmosphere on Call of the Dead, if you played it at night and that was the first time you'd ever play it, you would probably shit yourself.
Here's the thing. I know this is skipping ahead a little bit, but I know they remastered that map.
Yeah,
it's
I
horrible.
still haven't played it.
It's horrible.
Just
It's not
because
good.
I'm just like, do not sully the memory.
They
It's bad.
did.
Don't
They
touch.
did.
They
sully
did.
the
It's
memory.
really, really bad.
Oh
It's
my
not
gosh.
the same map.
So we'll talk about that later. And they haven't played the map. I have. So I'm basically the only one who can talk about it. So
We might have to actually do a second podcast once we get done because we're at almost an hour now.
this is gonna be like a 2-hour podcast.
You just want to do a 2-hour podcast?
Let's do it.
Let's
Okay,
do a
I'm,
2-hour
well, I'm
podcast.
fine with
We'll
that.
do a 2-hour podcast, and then me and Shadow will just play the shit out of zombies.
I'm fine with that as long as you're willing
Alright,
to do
so-
the video.
Oh, hell
The
yeah.
thing with Call of the Dead, the third topic was the 10-minute song. And the second topic, while being nowhere near as important as either of the other two, is still probably one of the funniest things in zombies. That's not a lever.
Yes.
So, the main crew is trapped in a vault, and you have to deliver them some things via the Easter egg. And you... if
They're
you
used
get-
to
Oh,
they're
it's
used
so
to
good.
pulling a power lever to turn on the power.
And
They're in the dark.
not Rick Toffin,
I think it was Nikolai that grabbed it, but it was Tank.
Nikolai, who is a Russian drunk. Yeah, what a surprise, a Russian drunk. But talk about stereotypes, eh?
Sorry, Russian.
All four of them were the biggest stereotypes for
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah.
So even the Americans are like asshole soldier who
Yeah,
likes
Tank Dempsey
cheeseburgers
was
and-
only about guns.
So
that was his big thing.
everybody got spit on.
And
It
And the
wasn't-
whole thing about it was, Nikolai said, "I'm very good at fixing things when I'm drunk," and everyone was like, "Oh sure, let's get him some booze," and he goes, "Hey look, I found a lever for that power." And then Tank Dempsey's like, "That's not a lever, let go." And it's like, what did he grab? If you're under the age of 8, you don't know.
This is the first Easter egg we actually got done.
Yes.
And
Me
it is
and
one of the
Crip.
most annoying Easter eggs because you have to light these fires with a crossbow.
Me and Crip, and it was one other person, but it wasn't somebody we knew.
Probably
or
a
was doing
random.
the Easter
Yeah,
egg.
it was a random that we were like, hey, we're gonna do the Easter egg. Are you down? And they're like, sure, whatever.
So he gets into a position where he's on one of the storage boxes on the ship, and he's getting the zombies while we're doing the Easter egg.
Now, with Call of the Dead, I still listen to the song that was played for that map. I still listen to it to this day
Absolutely.
because
It's on
it
my
is-
Spotify.
it's on my Spotify as well.
It's so good.
It is one of the best heavy metal songs I've ever listened to.
It's just a song that can really get you in the mood for gaming.
But also, I listen to Avenged Sevenfold a lot because of Zombies.
Yes.
So, Zombies really restarted the career for Avenged Sevenfold because
They really.
they were on the decline for popularity whenever Zombies was first starting, and then their song got featured, and everyone starts listening to them again.
They really embrace the zombies
Yeah.
community. They've had concerts where it was like, does anybody here play Call of Duty Zombies? And they just start fucking playing
But
the
that's what I
songs.
love is the fact that all the bands. All right, so we're going to talk about the other singer who's super famous for zombies. Well, she's not super famous for zombies. She's also known in Christian music, but to anyone who doesn't listen to that, she's known for zombies. Avenged Sevenfold embraced the zombie community like it was their child.
Yeah.
Yes.
They base every time there's something zombies related, they're always involved with it. As much as they can be. They
got so
funding
involved with Call of Duty that eventually they were in a secret Easter egg as themselves.
That's amazing. I didn't even know that.
That was Black Ops 2.
In Black Ops 2, there was an ending that if you did certain things, you know how Woods was in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
He got up and was just saying he was lazy, and he tore off his shirt, his gown, and he had an Avenged Sevenfold t-shirt on, and then Avenged Sevenfold played a whole concert.
And
That's amazing.
The bad guy from that game was a guitar player for Avenged Sevenfold in that clip.
I love that.
It was pretty cool.
But there is quite a lot for zombies to unpack for Black Ops. So I'm going to skip over Shinonuma. Like, most of it.
Shangri-La.
Yeah, Shangri-La. I'm going to skip over most of it.
Can I just say one thing about Shangri-La?
Sure.
Well, two things. The special zombies were fucking ridiculous.
Yes.
There was a thing that, if you go back and watch a lot of the YouTubers, they thought, you know how there was the bridge and then you could see like that a mountain with the forest?
Mhm.
They kept trying to convince people there was some shit in there. Like, to the point that, like, there was an entire Reddit based around trying to figure out what was out there.
Alright, so how I said I was going to skip over it, I'm not going to talk about the finer details of the map because I don't like that map. No one in this room likes the map.
That map.
The baby gun was kind of funny.
Yeah,
But that was about it. I didn't like the fact that you had to go through those areas where it was the pressure plates, and you had to like fucking find your way around it.
That is one of the few things I want to talk about for this map. They had traps, and that was the fun part of that map. Yeah. It's sad to say that the traps were the fun part.
I liked the going down the fucking ramps thing.
Oh, like the mine carts and shit?
Yeah, that was the coolest part to me.
Now, this map is notorious for one thing besides the special zombies, and that's one gun. And you two might know what gun I'm talking about. The Galil.
Oh, yeah.
This was not the first map that Galil featured in, but it was the most prominent map for the Galil. The Galil demolished this map and everything it stood for.
I think there was maybe 2 spots that were slightly open for training.
Yeah.
I didn't like how tight the damn map was.
Very close
and then you had the traps on top of it. I felt so claustrophobic.
This map also had one feature I really enjoyed. There was these monkeys that would pick up an item, and it would start switching the item, and if you timed it right, you could get a perk out of it, a free perk, and you could go over the 4 limit. This was the first map to have that.
I remember some of the stuff they were talking about was in the forest. They thought that like you could get the Cosmonaut Silverback to show up in the map.
From Dead Ops Arcade.
From Dead Ops Arcade, which was a slightly
I don't want to talk about Dead Ops Arcade, but due to the fact that I respect you guys for listening, I will talk about it.
It's just a top-down little mini-game that was a different type of zombies.
It was not a very fun zombies game. Now, once you got to Black Ops 3, you got it very much, like, you got a much better version of it.
But it was more of a arcade style, is what it was.
And if you played the original before it just got dropped for everybody, you had to sit there for an hour and a half typing in one fucking code.
Yes.
I remember Crip sitting there doing, because I watched him the entire time, going, what the fuck is he doing? I mean, obviously, I was like 5, so I didn't curse, but I was like, what is he doing? I don't get it. He's just pressing random button. He pressed at button in square. And we had a PlayStation at this time. And he's just sitting there like, oh, no, you'll see. And he's sitting there for an hour and a half typing this. Now, I don't know if it was just because he typed slow. He didn't type that slow. He typed pretty damn fast.
It was the fact that I had to look up a lot of this. So it was like, look down, type it, look down, type it.
It brought you to an arcade mode.
Yep.
And the arcade was not fun at all. Now, if you were a big fan of beat-em-up games, or like beat-em-up shooter-esque games, this is probably your favorite zombies map. And I will not judge you. I mean, I will, but I'll silently do it.
You kind of got to be to the point where you like something like Contra.
Yeah, like I said, it was a very arcade style, and it wasn't meant to be something serious. It was just this is a little Easter egg. This is also a little zombies thing. But also, they had an entire fucking roleplay Zork thing in the computer.
Yeah.
They had more stuff to the zombies canon that you could find.
Yeah.
That was astronauts that were sent to the pyramid on Moon, and you could read about them.
Yeah.
All right. So that leads us to the pyramid on Moon. The Moon map is arguably
So
within my top 3 favorite maps.
so good.
I love that map.
I'd go top 5, but yeah.
I put it in top 3.
The only
The
thing
next 2 maps are incredibly good maps.
The only thing I did not like, and that's just for me, I know that was like the whole point of the thing, was sometimes you could jump slow, and then sometimes you're back at regular Earth physics, and like every once in a while you just wouldn't know when the fuck it was gonna hit.
And everyone remembers one man. That one fucking astronaut that would take
What
the
the
form
fuck was
of your...
he?
He was a zombie that would take over the names of your friends list.
But like,
Be it
what the
Xbox,
fuck,
PlayStation,
dude?
or Steam, whatever you I don't think Black Ops 1 was sold
I
on
remember
Steam.
when we ran into that for the first time.
Yeah.
It was one of us.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's not me. And it was like, no shit,
The
I
first-
see you.
The first time I ran into it, I was playing with a friend. I'm not going to disclose a friend's name because I don't know if he wants to stay in anonymity or not. But it took his name.
Really?
And he was on the other side of the map.
Oh no.
And I went, what is he doing here? I told him to go do this. So I ran over there and I started knifing him because I didn't have a microphone at that time.
The big
and,
grab.
and knifing
And-
one of your friends is just a way to say
It doesn't hurt.
it doesn't.
Yeah, it signals them that you're trying to get their attention. And he would do one thing. He would grab you,
Big grab.
and then he would, like, expel you to, like, 100 feet away, and it was horrifying. And if you were at the wrong side of the map, you would die.
Like I said,
Yeah.
the great thing about when I first saw it is Pebble was right next to him
Yeah.
with his name, and I was like, the fuck is this guy?
So,
I thought it was somebody modding into the game. I was like, what the hell?
what happened to me the first time I saw him, I was inside the original room. So, alright, I think we are getting way too ahead of ourselves. Let's talk about Area 51 first. Area 51, if you do not know, is the notorious U.S. base that the government tried to say was not real from
You don't know what Area
1960 to
51
1990.
If you don't know what Area 51 is, holy shit. Like,
You're probably not American if...
but also,
You don't
like,
know what Area
around
51
the
is.
world is famous at this point.
Yeah, but if you're like a Russian viewer, you don't give a fuck.
But also the Maymays, bro. Like,
And
what was it, last year or the year before?
Year before.
Raiding
last
Area 51.
last year in September, people tried to make a joke. Well, actually, before September, last year, people made the joke, we're going to raid Area 51.
Naruto running there.
And it ended up being that our government held an alien-themed party about a mile and a half away from Area 51, which I thought was really
That
fucking
was
cool.
really cool.
But also they
Props
said,
to you guys.
but they
for
also
doing
said, if you do run in there, we will fucking shoot you.
Yeah.
that. They actually didn't kill anybody.
Well, no, but I don't think anybody ran actually.
One person.
on-
3
Right.
people ran
Yeah,
at
a couple
Area
people
but
51.
they got arrested.
One, actually no. Now that I think about it, one dude was shot and killed, and that's because he made it super close to the
Yeah.
base.
But,
But
there
2
are
people
signs.
got arrested, and I believe they were kind of just let go on. Well, I think they were given like.
But like, there's so many people that get that warning all the time because people go up there and take pictures of the sign, even though it says "Don't do it,"
Yeah,
and they're like, "You need to leave."
it's kind of just
It's a military base, and they have to treat it as such.
now. To any history buffs out there, you will recognize Area 51 as the birthplace of the B-2 stealth bomber, otherwise known as, notoriously, the best stealth plane ever made. Now, obviously, the Black Hawk is better, but
But there is some shit there. There
I
is
don't-
definitely some
I don't
shit
think there's
there.
shit
Definitely
there.
some shit there.
there's just B-2 bombers. There's no aliens there. They wouldn't have.
Maybe not
They-
aliens.
They wouldn't keep them there.
Government secrets.
All military bases probably have that. But,
Big government secrets.
all right, we're way off track. You start off in Area 51, and Pack-a-Punch is there. You start running around, and the next you know, all you hear is a siren, and it's not round based when you're at Area 51. It's time based. So a lot of the Call of Duty community rallied behind of, let's do a challenge to see who can last the longest. And I believe someone lasted 2.5 hours.
Really?
There.
Damn.
Which is insane, because infinite zombies spawn during that. So I'm sitting there like, that man had to... He glitched the game, obviously.
Isn't Pack-a-Punch open automatically?
Yep.
So like you can,
Pack-a-Punch is
So
open.
you can farm points, and then you have the Mustang and Sally, and you're fucking set.
Damn.
It's insane.
And then as soon as you Pack-a-Punch again, more ammo.
And then also, that wasn't a thing back in... Actually, that's not even a thing now.
No?
No,
Not
you
back
don't get
in
more ammo if you Pack-a-Punch. The whole thing with Area 51, and I know this is true, there is a higher statistical value for items to drop off of zombies.
Yeah.
Whereas a headshot not guarantees, but it increases your chances of something spawning. Every single shot to a zombie is like a headshot.
Yeah.
At least in value.
There's a lot of drops on there.
And if you shoot in the head, you get like triple times the chance.
But it is like
something to
a
spawn.
very small... I would equate it to a very small room.
Yeah.
Is what this is.
It's very tiny.
And don't you get slower in the mud areas?
Mm-hmm, you do.
So like, there's a huge space where you're slowed down, and it's
And
small
dogs
as
will spawn,
shit.
and dogs do not get slowed down in mud. Zombies do get slowed down, thankfully.
Dogs don't get slowed down for shit.
Dogs say, "Fuck your mud, fuck your
Fuck
life,
your game
about to
physics. I'm dog."
die." Bow wow. All right, and this leads us back on the moon because you go through a teleporter. Oh, and also a random perk falls from the sky. There.
Yeah.
It's between like 3 perks. You got quick revive, speed cola, and jug. You just better pray that
I think
it's
it just
quick
does like
revive.
a random thing and then drops. Yeah.
I always pray that it's quick revive that spawns.
Yeah,
so
because
I
then
don't
you ain't got to
fucking
go
worry
back
about
and
it.
get jug.
But Moon was also notorious for a glitch. If you went outside the right-hand side from spawn, at least if you were facing from where you spawned at the helmets, you could go to a section of the map where they had like a little dip. Not enough to make you slide off, but it was just barely so you could stand on it.
Yep.
If you would crouch there, zombies could not see you.
Yep.
Yeah.
The only zombie that could see you was the cosmonaut.
One thing I really fucking hated so bad was the big saw.
There
would
was
cut you off from different
there was
parts.
a excavator, which if you don't know what an excavator is, it's the largest land vehicle ever produced. It is a giant digging machine. We've never gotten one to the moon, so I don't know why there was one just randomly
big
there.
circular saw boy.
And it would start drilling through one of the tunnels, and you could not go through the tunnel without dying.
You get one shot, no matter what. It does not matter.
Well, if you had jug, it would like bounce you back.
See, I think that's what fucked us up the time we almost got the Easter egg done, because it's random which tunnel it goes through,
Yep.
and we needed it on one tunnel, and it went to the wrong tunnel.
See, the thing with the excavator is that also ruined my run for the Easter egg. Me and a couple friends got together and we started doing the Easter egg. We were one step away.
Really?
One. And that was the go launch the rocket, where you had to do the Simon Says game
Yeah.
into the rocket launch. The excavator came down and killed all of us.
Really?
Yeah, because
Yeah.
here's the thing: is it comes down. It's not just it's there and it blocks it. It slowly comes down. So if you're on your way
Yeah.
and it comes down, you're done.
See, the thing is, as soon as it touches the roof, it's an instant kill zone.
Yep.
So it doesn't even have to show up to kill
Nope.
you. And we didn't know it was going to be there because there's no telling where it's
It
going to be.
just makes a noise to let you know it's coming, I think.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say where it's going.
Now,
You have to sit there and wait.
what the whole thing is, you can watch the excavator move. That's why we played it horrible. You're supposed to have someone watching the excavator while you're doing it, so you know where it is.
There's
you
a
know
way around it, yeah, but it's just like when you get in the fluid of motion, you're almost done.
Yeah.
You're like, let's go.
The
let's
three of
go.
us were running, and we were running through the same tunnel, and we all hit the kill zone at
God,
the same
I hate
time, and
it.
we all died. We were so fucking
Oh
mad.
my god! Can I just talk about how beautiful that map was?
It was. And if you don't know the Easter egg, spoilers, mega spoilers. It reveals Samantha as the queen of the zombies. You swap it out for Richtofen. Richtofen is no longer in his own body. It's now Samantha. You launch a rocket and destroy the world. And by destroy the world, you don't like actually destroy it. You just cripple it
You
completely.
really fuck up the earth.
Yeah.
And this leads us into Black Ops 2,
Yep.
which
Black Ops
is
2.
30 or 40 years in the future.
Yes.
Because it is 2077, something like that.
Wasn't it based in 2025?
It's 2025, yeah.
So it's not that far in the future.
So it's only 5 years from now.
Yeah, it's
almost that
almost time. You ready for fucking missiles to hit the Earth, boys?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
damn.
But in Black Ops 2, you start off with the quote-unquote transit crew. Transit being the first map. I really fucking hate this map.
I love transit.
I love it. Love it so
Now,
much.
Black Ops 2 does hold one of my favorite maps, though, and it also holds one of Pebble's favorite maps. Probably his second favorite
My
map.
second favorite map.
This is my second favorite map as well. And in transit, you are on a bus going through the dilapidated remains of a town.
I love just. It's exactly how it should have felt
Now,
for a zombies map with a blown up
I
planet.
will give credit where credit is due. Its atmosphere is on fucking point.
Yes.
The only reason why I don't like transit is the fact that there are so many places where it just felt like they didn't care. Now, there is one section that is another Easter egg. It has nothing to do with the overarching story. You can find Nocturne Totem.
Yes.
There's zero explanation on why it's there. None at all. Because you're not even in Germany.
No.
You're in the U.S.
It's literally just an Easter egg, though.
But it's in a cornfield. And it's the only place in the map that is not a known location where you don't get attacked by the fucking monkeys.
Yeah.
I love
The demon
the
monkeys?
different small locations. You can find like the little lodge,
The
and stuff.
farm, the city.
It's so cool. I love the element
The
of
diner.
the fog.
I
I love the diner. I fucking love the diner.
This is another one where we got close to doing the Easter egg completely,
Yeah,
but the electric zombie just did not
didn't
cooperate.
want to cooperate.
No.
He just would never show up to us where we needed him to. We kept seeing the lightning, but he'd never show up.
Now, the one time I tried the transit Easter egg, we got 3 steps away from completing. We were on the step where you had to EMP him.
Yeah.
And our EMPs wouldn't hit him.
Shit.
Yeah,
Because what is supposed to happen is he's supposed to cling onto a bus that you're on. And you're supposed to throw EMPs on him to get him to follow you. Or to stay on the bus. Our EMPs wouldn't hit him, ever.
I think
It
our
kept clipping out of the bus.
I think
was
our
so
game
stupid.
bugged because it would show a thunderstorm, but like we looked throughout the entire map and he just never
He
showed
never
back
showed
up.
up.
Yeah.
I think he just clipped out of the game or
I
something.
think we were sitting in that and looked.
They
Some
were on
of
the
you
last
like
step.
sat on the cornfield, but I went on the bus and was like looking
He was
for
nowhere
him.
to be found.
So the whole thing with the Thunder Zombie is the fact that you would turn on power, and he's not technically a zombie in every sense of the word, but it's zombies, so we're just going to call him that just for branching purposes. He was a pure electric being that generated power for a farm.
Yes.
And the Easter egg, I've said the word notorious like 1,000 times this podcast, but the maps are all notorious for something.
Yeah. Even the bad ones have their own shtick.
This map, you could not finish the Easter egg ever. No matter how close you wanted to get, you could not technically complete the Easter egg
Yeah.
because of the final map, Origins.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They changed it up.
I love Origins. It's probably in my top 5 favorite.
But-
No. I put that above Moon. Now that I'm thinking about
But
it.
that was a bad move, game wise.
Yeah. And the whole thing with Transit is the fact you had to go to the other maps and do their Easter egg to get this little SIM card to put into a terminal on fucking Transit. And you had to redo the Easter egg for Transit to every time to put in the SIM card. And you would always start with the next one.
But there's no card for
But there's no
Origins.
card.
But there was
for
no
the
card in Origins.
But the next map, kind of a black map.
Yeah.
But
Die Rise.
that wasn't the next
Yeah, it
one,
was.
it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because Mob was the third one.
No. Transit, I'm not the biggest fan of you, so we're going to go ahead and skip on throughout most of what you have to offer. Although I do want to touch on one thing. The jet gun is the worst buildable weapon
I didn't
in
like the
zombies
jet.
history.
I didn't like the jet gun.
The jet
I
gun,
just liked the map itself.
the jet gun was horrible. I'm sorry, I'm not going to touch on what the jet gun is. Just for the fact
it's
that I don't
literally
like it.
just a big turbine that
It's sucked in
yes,
zombies.
it was a reverse thunder gun.
And the whole thing for Die Rise was the return of the Nova Crawlers. And the dogs are there.
If they didn't
and the map is upside down, and you're jumping in and out through.
If they didn't
buildings.
have the fucking parts where it was the gaps,
Yeah.
I'd
You
have had
to
a
jump
better
across.
time.
Yeah.
I'd have had a better time.
I hated that map
The
completely.
gaps ruined it for me because I'd always be just rushing, and I'd fall.
Yeah.
And then I'd be dead. And there's no getting out of it. You're just dead.
Now we did do the Easter egg for this one.
Yeah, but it was so short.
Yeah, it was a very short Easter egg.
It was like 5 or 6 steps. Just those steps were like 10 minutes
That
long
map
each.
really felt rushed.
Yes.
But it was
It
rushed.
didn't feel like it was rushed to me. It felt like they wanted to rush you through it.
But it felt like it was rushed in the way of they threw a couple things together. It very much felt like a map that could have worked in multiplayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
It
they
would've been
threw
better
together for
multiplayer.
zombies.
I don't know if I could have been too close quarters. Well, no, Black Ops 2 was very KSG heavy.
Yeah.
But, you know.
But I felt like it was a map that they had for multiplayer. They put into zombies because of how much was in the next one.
Alright, so unfortunately we're not going to be able to sit here and talk as long as we can about Black Ops 2 as much as we did about Black Ops 1.
Black
because
Ops 1 just had so much good, and Black Ops 2 had a lot of real good concentrated in one place.
Yeah.
Most people consider Black Ops 2 to be the better of the two games.
Nah.
I agree.
Multiplayer, yes.
Oh.
Multiplayer,
Zombies,
yes.
to an extent, I agree. But the whole thing with Black Ops 2 Zombies that you could sum up into one word is unfinished.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's only 2 maps in all of Black Ops 2 that I can confidently say were thought out and finished maps. Blood of the Dead and Origins.
Mob of the Dead.
Blood of the Dead.
Sorry, Blood of the Dead. Black
Mob
Ops
of the
4.
Dead.
I do apologize.
Mob of the Dead and Origins
It's
were
my number-
very
no.
finished.
Mob of the Dead is my number 3.
Now, I'm skipping Die Rise because there's not much to talk about that
Like
map.
I said,
Much
it just
stuff
felt
about
so rushed.
Except for one perk. Who's Who. It is one of the greatest perks in Zombies history.
What was that one?
Who's Who is, if you went down, you could revive yourself.
Oh shit.
Like a ghost you would spawn, and the zombies would sit there and attack that, and then you can run up and revive yourself.
Oh, damn.
It was so
But
stupid.
couldn't you do that in Mob as a ghost?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what replaced Who's Who.
Yeah.
Who's Who has not been in a Zombies map ever since.
Yeah.
The only thing I liked about Die Rise was that one gun. They did the, you could shoot it on the,
The
ground.
goop
Oh, the
stuff?
Sliquify?
goop stuff, yeah.
I hated this liquefier. The biggest problem with Die Rise, and whether or not you think it's the gaps, or whether or not you think it's the map that's upside down, you're just wrong. It's the fucking elevators, where you had to sit there for 30 minutes waiting for one perk. It's
Yeah.
like, hey, I kind of want Jug. I've been getting kind of nuked. All right, let me go buy it. I'm at the elevator, and I'm waiting, and waiting.
Yeah.
All right, before that bit turns into a comedy skit,
Um,
let's continue. The next map that came out
Mob
was
of the Dead.
Mob of the Dead,
Mob is
regarded
so
as one of the
good.
best zombie maps of all time.
They
Like I
bring in
said, that's my
celebrities
number one.
again.
Yeah, another celebrity.
I can't remember all their names,
Uh-huh.
but it's a lot of people that have been in gangster movies because it's centered in Alcatraz.
So, in Mob of the Dead, like Crip just said, you're in Alcatraz. If you don't know what Alcatraz is, it is a prison that was on the coast of San Francisco where mob bosses such as Al Capone and other people have been held. It is notorious for one thing. Only one ever escape was completed. Everyone else was either caught or died on the journey.
And they've even said, well, the cops have come out and said that they don't believe they survived. But the evidence shows that they did survive
Now,
the escape.
If you are a big fan of like Science Channel and all that, you probably have heard of the Mythbusters.
Yeah.
They proved that they could have survived by doing the exact same thing they did. with even less of
Yeah.
what they did.
They used raincoats and glue and glued raincoats together to make a small raft.
These motherfuckers were big brain.
Yeah, hell
And all evidence proves that the 3 men escaped Alcatraz. There was originally supposed to be 4, but one of them got stuck in the vents.
yeah. Really?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that part.
He straight up stuck-borned it.
Damn.
But he was like, "Officer, I'm stuck," and but it was funny. But
Mob of the Dead was such a good map.
it was the
The
plane, the bridge,
The warden.
the warden.
Brutus
The
was
Brutus,
amazing.
The fucking wolves that came out of the wall.
All right, and I'm gonna use my favorite word to use during this.
Notorious.
It's notorious for something. The Hell's Retriever
Hell yeah.
and the Hell's Redeemer. If you knew how to do it,
Yeah.
I didn't know how to do it. Crip did. He showed me. Now I know how to do it in Black Ops 4. It's a lot more
easier.
complicated.
Is it?
Oh yeah, a lot more.
Yeah, it's a lot more complicated.
You have to like throw your Hell's Retriever like specific angles and shit like that to do it.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
for
not too crazy. though.
Hell's Redeemer in Hell's Retriever was a tomahawk that you would throw, and I'm saying tomahawk because it was not a
It
hatchet.
was not a hatchet.
It was more like a Native American tomahawk.
Yes.
Yes.
You would throw it, and it would aim for the head of anything, and it would go through the entire line. Anything that was following you, it would hit the head of. Even Brutus,
There were
the
so-
warden.
There were so many times that damn weapon has made me survive longer
Dude.
because I'd run out of ammo and that's all I had
And
left.
it was infinite. It would recharge, though. Well, at least in Black Ops 4. I don't know about Black Ops 2. I don't believe it recharged. I think you just had to wait for it to come back.
You just had to wait for it to come back,
Yeah.
and then it did like a small couple second before you could rethrow it.
But the Hell's Retriever, how you got it was there was these wolf heads that were on each. Well, there was 3 of them. I've always said there was 4, but I had to learn real fast. There's 3, and you had to feed them zombies. Wow, amazing! These wolves, and they're hungry. You feed them zombies,
Big ol' hungry boys.
and you throw this hatchet. It is basically God smiting these zombies. Be it called Hell's Retriever, it's basically a godsend. And the Hell's Redeemer, you would throw the Hell's Retriever into a certain pit, and you have to do a certain action. I don't know what exactly the action was. I don't know if Crip remembers
I can't
either.
remember.
I can't
It's
remember.
been years.
But
Yeah, it's been a long
You
time.
threw it at one of these central dog heads into like this hole that goes to hell, and you do like this specific action. Then you come back, and the Hell's Redeemer, it's a blue version, whereas the Hell's Retriever is red.
Yeah.
Because
It
I'm trying to
honestly
not
was
specify
better
it's
than
red.
some Wonder Weapons.
it was better than 90%
Oh my
of the Wonder
God,
Weapons.
it
It
was
would
so
one-shot, headshot up until like round 50.
It was so.
But, well, no, not until round 50, but it would recharge a lot faster, and it did a lot more damage. It was so insane. And it had better range, too.
Yeah, it did. This was another map where we did do the Easter egg.
Yeah.
Another
Um,
one where atmosphere meant everything.
And
did.
the Easter egg, I'm sorry for cutting you off, but I feel
No,
like this
talk
is
about the
important.
Easter egg. That's what I'm
The
ready.
Easter egg, there are 2 variations of it, and both of them you get the achievement, Pop Goes the Weasel. And there's a
I was
character
Weasel.
named Weasel.
I was
It-
weak.
and the reason why his name is Weasel, and it's not because his actual name was Weasel, but it has to do with Alcatraz. He told on them that they were going. Well, he tattled that they were going to try and escape, and they all died trying to escape.
They murdered him, and they were put in the electric chair. And this is their hell, basically.
This is their hell.
And they all have to relive the escape over and over, and they don't remember dying.
When we did the Easter egg, I'm gonna give a shout out, Farmer. You helped us get the Easter egg, and fuck you for most of the Easter eggs we tried. But we got the Easter egg done, and we got to the end, and Crip was
Yeah.
Weasel.
You have to, once you realize that Weasel's the reason they're there, because they got put to the chair for murdering him, they want to kill Weasel. And it's either you kill Weasel or Weasel kills the team. I was Weasel, and I was like, oh, can't get me. Oh, can't get
So
me.
we
And I was
needed-
running around, and a Brutus would show up, and chase you. And I was like, oh, guess Brutus is gonna get y'all. And I just kept running around, not letting them kill me.
So you had to kill Weasel for the Easter egg.
I eventually let them kill me.
Multiple Brutuses would show up and a ton of zombies.
When I attempted the Easter egg, I got to that section, and I lagged out of the game.
Oh God!
So I do not have that achievement on my
no.
Xbox. And this isn't like I deserve it. I mean, I lagged out. What am I going to do? There is a remake of it called Blood of the Dead. It is not, well, it's not technically a remake. It's a remake of the map, per se.
But it's a
incredibly good map, too.
It's kind of a sequel to that story.
Yeah. And the whole thing with it is it's supposed to replicate the feeling of Mob of the Dead. And I feel like it doesn't, but loses some of it.
You think so?
With its story.
Yeah.
Well, I'll discuss that whenever we talk about Black Ops 4. I'm not going to talk about all the maps for Black Ops 4 because most of them are pretty bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Mob of the Dead really was a great one, story-wise, atmosphere-wise, Easter egg-wise. I think it all around was one of the last bangers.
Yeah.
That was just all around great.
Every single Zombies game has at least one map that truly defines the zombie mode.
Yeah.
Whether it be Derice, it's also Call of the Dead, Mob of the Dead, then you have Black Ops 3 we can't talk about yet, Black Ops 4 we can't. Alright, so I'm sure you guys have all seen the trailer by now. Black Ops Cold War Zombies was leaked about a week ago. And they have two game modes for it. They have the new one and then they have the original. We don't know what we saw yet. We don't know if it's the new one or the original. I'm praying it's the new one, not the original. But the thing with Black Ops 2 Zombies... Alright, so let's go ahead and on to the next map. I think my point right here is kind of stupid.
Yeah.
But the next map is not, in fact, Origins. It is, in fact, Nuketown.
Oh, God.
The famous
The
Call of Duty
bonus.
multiplayer map. Nuketown Zombie. Well, famous multiplayer map. Nuketown just in general.
Really wasn't needed.
It's been in every single Call of Duty. Besides, well, it's been in every Black Ops.
Every trailer.
Every Black Ops game. Besides Black Ops 4.
Which is wild.
They decided to drop it because it just didn't work.
Yeah, that Zombies map wasn't really needed.
Oh, I love it.
It was okay as like a mini map kind of thing. But it was a pre-order bonus.
The thing I saw with it, I didn't treat it as if it was this is a well and defined Zombies map. I thought it was just oh, look, it can happen here too.
Yeah, that's all it kind of was.
And as an artsy-fartsy type thing, it works. As its own standalone map, no.
No, it was literally just we don't want to take the time to play a bigger map. Let's just do something real quick with Nuketown.
Yeah, it's just like, let's have some fun.
We have 30, 45 minutes to spare.
It was for the multiplayer buffs.
Didn't that start off with a pre-order bonus?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This is a pre-order bonus. And then it was basically just
later on it was released.
It was just kind of bridging Moon and Black Ops 2 slightly.
For a Bridger map, it worked.
Yeah.
You didn't need much. You didn't need something on the level
but
like
you didn't need the bridge.
You didn't need it, but it was it was a welcome. It was unexpected, but a welcome event.
Yeah, like I said, it was like we have 30 to 45 minutes to spare. Why not play some Nuketown?
Yeah. As Palpatine would say it, this is quite unexpected, but not unwelcome.
Yeah.
But there wasn't much to it. It was just, it was Nuketown, it was zombies,
but
done.
Also, that introduces one of the characters for Transit before Transit canonically happens. And that is the main character who is I can't remember the dude's name for the life of me, but...
You're talking about the dude with the glasses?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is played by the dude who plays Robin in Teen Titans.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Dang.
That's the first thing I noticed as I started playing.
You can hear them talking in the phone.
He's the only one in the bunker.
But then you actually hear the bus leaving.
Yep.
With them.
Really?
It's so weird because he's the only one that's talking inside the bunker. No one else says anything. But he's talking to somebody.
Yeah.
And then you hear the bus horn.
Yeah. You hear boom, and then you hear it go away. and then you just kind of play the rest of the match.
Now, obviously, this isn't something like is there a portal to transit? No, it probably wasn't. It was probably just them adding a little.
I think it was for story reason. That's where they were hunkered down when everything hit the fan.
Yeah.
And
which is why they survived.
Yeah, that's why they survived. And so they left from there.
Alright. This leads us on to the last map.
No. Third map.
Which is Buried.
Yeah, Buried.
Buried. Oh my goodness.
I couldn't
I love Buried.
I have a love-hate relationship with it. I had some good memories with it, but also it was just a very wacky map for me.
I have my worst memory because I busted my ass on transit to save up a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God.
And then Sonic decided to get on mine. He had to because I had the DLC. That's the way it run. And he was like, you could take money from a bank that was on multiple maps. And he basically goes in there and is like, oh shit, I got a lot of money. It was my money.
It was 80,000 points.
And he spent all of it.
No, he died with it.
He pulled it out and
that's what
didn't
I mean.
even use
That's
it.
what I mean. He took all of it out of the bank, and then I had nothing left. The next time I went in, I'm thinking, I got tons of money to be able to buy whatever I want. I had nothing.
That was something we really didn't talk about, the bank system that they had.
The bank system's not really that big of a deal, though.
But it
wasn't even the first time Zombies has done that.
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
Because they also had something with like a gun fridge.
That was also on transit.
But
for Black Ops 2, that was the main mechanic that went through all of them.
No one ever really used it unless you were only ever playing for Easter eggs.
I did. I used the hell out of it.
I used it just for like, I want a specific gun right away.
Yeah.
The gun fridge was definitely a cool thing, but
yeah.
Black Ops 2, alright, you know what? I'm going to use the word again. It was notorious for one thing. The amount of buildable shit.
I didn't like the buildable shit. I know it's something that's still basically today because they're still doing it.
I thought it was
didn't
really
care for
cool, and I'm glad they did it as heavy as they did, so it was get used to it. So whenever we implement it later, we're not going to do it in such volume, but it will be a factor.
Yeah.
Because the acid gap for Mob of the Dead.
Yeah.
You needed that.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't use it. I didn't like it. All right, so 10.
And the magma gat.
If anyone knows what a gat is, it's just a souped up gun. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Farmer always got that. Every single time we played, he got the acid gat.
And that leads us on to Buried. Buried's wonder weapon was called the Paralyzer. It was a gun that would stop the flow of time, slow down the flow of time, and you could fly with it.
Best thing out of that map was the tall boy.
Oh, talk about Leroy.
Yeah, that's the best thing out of that whole.
Now his name is not canonically Leroy. He
I
does have a canonical name, but he's dead now. So
just think he was hilarious. He just bashed the zombies
in the zombie storyline. He's dead.
Where did he get his name, Leroy?
Probably Leroy Jenkins.
Due to the fact that I don't know where Leroy Jenkins comes from. He's just some random character that jumped out of a window, and everyone loves him for it.
Leroy Jenkins is just some name that a dude screamed right before he ran into a WoW boss.
His name is Arthur.
Well, his name's Leroy.
Everyone calls him Leroy because he'll take alcohol and he'll charge whatever the fuck is behind him, and it's so funny. I remember I was super young whenever I played Black Ops 2, so do realize what I'm about to say is 100% accurate. Whenever I first saw him do that, I pissed myself laughing.
Dude, it was so funny.
I was legitimately crying on the floor and I pissed myself laughing.
Just tackled everything. And it was the funniest shit.
He was the most valuable thing in Buried because you could give him candy and he'd go grab the box, and if you gave him booze, he'd slam the box down so it wouldn't move. And you get in the optimal spot, and then you're set the rest of the game.
I didn't play a lot of Buried. Like I said, I didn't really like the map, but I did like him. I think there was a ghost in Buried.
Yeah.
There was multiple. There was one ghost. There was a ghost that would sit there, and it was kind of like ooh, look at him, he's a ghost. And then there was a witch.
The witch is what I didn't like.
I hated the witch because she would steal your points.
Yeah. She
would show up and just go.
There was just so much in such a confined area.
Yeah. Alright, well, we've kind of basically covered...
Buried.
No. there's one last thing.
I loved your faces. You were like, no, wait.
And this is the worst thing in zombies history. I will fight anybody on
Hit
this.
me with it.
I fucking hate Vultureade. Vultureade is the Perca-Cola that allows you to see shit through walls.
What the
And it blocks your screen and you can't see anything.
Oh, no.
It was so broken. And in Black Ops 3, it was even worse.
Oh, no.
In Black Ops 3, if your game broke, you would just see green squares blocking your screen.
Really?
Oh, God.
You could see zombies through walls, you could see everything.
But then you couldn't see
Yeah, and then
shit
you couldn't
else.
see what was actually in front of you. So if there was a zombie in front of you, all you would see is the zombies that are 100 feet away from
Oh,
you.
God.
And you could see the perks, you could see the box.
I think I remember that, actually.
And it had the worst song ever. It was just... And when I'm saying it had the worst song is it didn't work with the zombies feel. Now, obviously, for the tone of the map, it worked. It was a slide guitar, and it was some dude slowly saying Vultureade in like a tone, like in a melody, whatever the fuck the tone is.
A melody.
Yeah, I get what you're trying to say.
But he would just go, "It's Vultureade," and had like a slide guitar in the background.
Bring.
Yeah.
Like a Old West duel is about to start or some
Yeah.
shit. Gotcha.
Dude,
Let-
I feel so bad. We've gone an hour and a half talking about this podcast, and I haven't even brought up the songs.
It's fine because some of them the songs bop, some of them the
The
songs
perk songs are so good. You got
some
Speed,
of them.
you got Speed Cola, Double Tap, Juggernaut. I don't like Quick Revive, but its song fucking slaps.
You need a little revive.
Dude, the Black Ops 3 variation of it is better.
Oh yeah.
Dude, it's... Alright, so I don't want to say this because it sounds racist, but I swear on my life it's not racist. It's the only way I know how to describe it. It's like a black church.
Well, that's a form of.
Yeah, like, it's a gospel version. And it's like of its era.
Yeah.
And it's so good. You need to listen to it.
There are other ways to describe it, but that is the way you know to describe it, and I don't think that's a racist statement.
I apologize to any...
It was not racist. That's just the way
Still
it's.
apologize.
I'm just going to apologize
Southern
just for the fact of I don't know what it's actually called, and I feel like I should.
Baptist. It's Baptist.
Yeah.
Is that
But-
actually what it's called?
There's Southern Baptist.
There's different types of
There's different
churchy
types.
type music. There's the chorus of "Ah," and then there's like actual like getting into it.
Yeah, it's like one of those. It's
Yeah.
He like slowly builds up the tempo
Yeah.
of the song. Oh my god, dude, it's so good.
Southern Baptist with a little bit of a maybe,
Like a 1950s
maybe
swing.
a jazz draw.
Yeah,
That would be what you would
but
want to say.
all in Black Ops 3. All right, we're on Black Ops 2 still. There's not much to talk about Origins. You have your original.
Origins
Original.
slapped though, and that song. You want to talk about songs? That
Yeah.
song.
Everything about Origins was good. You had the stabs. The map was well open, while it also had its good... It was a good mix of open to slightly open to enclosed. It was just the perfect mix of map, and you had these giant robots that would stomp you.
It really gave
If you had a foot fetish, that was the optimal map for you.
It definitely gave the World War feel to a series that was first based around a World War.
Yeah. And the big thing with it was the fact that it seemed more World War I-esque because there was
Yes.
no Nazi symbols in it. But there was Nazi symbols in it.
There
which
were,
is so weird.
but
because,
they changed up a lot of it.
see, the thing with it is the fact that each World War, and I love how it counted to 3 because in the zombie storyline there's canonically 3 World Wars that happened.
Yeah.
Because zombies started a 3rd World War. There was 3. And the main characters you follow from Black Ops 1 on fought in all 3.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because it originally started in World War II, but you know what? Sure, let's go with it.
But they changed the timeline, is what they did.
Yeah, they changed multiple timelines.
The Easter egg from Origins.
Is what pissed a lot of people off.
This is where I'm going to give Farmer the second shout out. Fuck you, bitch. Because
He's still
we
so
were-
mad about it.
we were really close to getting that Easter egg done.
But he was like, I gotta upgrade my staff.
I
I gotta upgrade my staff
Yeah.
first.
All the staffs had to be upgraded.
But
No.
he had to do his first. We had to sit there and like get hit and shit. He's like, no, I got you. Let me upgrade my staff first. It's like, Just help us get ours, and then we can be powerful and shit, and then you can do yours.
Alright, so the staffs aren't that hard to upgrade.
No.
You
They're
guys
not-
made it seem a lot harder than it actually
It wasn't
is.
It's
that
not
hard.
hard.
It was just the fact that we were left behind for him to fucking go get his shit done.
Yeah. Alright, so the staffs were elemental staffs. There was fire, wind, lightning, and ice.
I think so, yes.
Or, you know, if you're a fan of the song, Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah.
The thing with, I mean, obviously there was no Earth staff. I'm just making a joke.
Yeah.
But the staffs were very weird with how they worked. They didn't damage Panzer that much. So you had to have a gun on hand for him. You couldn't just dual wield staves and fuck him up.
Yeah.
Except for Lightning. Lightning obliterated him for some unknown.
Probably machinery.
I was about to say he's a machine, but it was the fact that Lightning just did so much DPS that
Yeah.
you just couldn't bother like stopping to kill him.
But the
And
Easter egg did piss off a lot of people.
what happened in the Easter egg? Again, spoiler alert. I mean, again, you've been here for an hour and a half. You know all this. It shows that all of the shit in zombies, the events of Origins were toys, were action figures in some random place. It was a kid Dr. Richtofen and a kid Samantha playing with zombie toys and all that. Which is so weird because why would Eddie call himself Dr. Richtofen and have a Natsu? It's weird, but
The timeline got weird at this point.
yeah. Although they do explain why it was like that. And they do
Yes.
explain that all the shit does actually happen.
Yes.
A lot of zombie fans at the time took it as none of this has actually happened.
Here's going to be the problem. Is that now we start getting into really heavily story-based,
Yeah.
but for me, really shitty map-based. Like, I don't care for a lot of the maps after this.
Alright, well, that leads us into Black Ops 3.
Yeah.
And this is where the different perk songs come in. Because it is based in like an LA noir type thing if you've ever played that game.
Yeah.
Or if you're a movies fan, an old 60s movie.
Yeah.
You've got a boxer who cheated in his matches, which that was big in the 60s. You had I'm just gonna fucking say it. You had a hooker.
Yeah, you had a hooker.
What are you gonna say otherwise?
I don't know, a scarlet.
Prostitute.
I was gonna say a scarlet.
A lady of the
A
night.
lady of the night.
But you have a magician who kills people, and then you have a cop. Well, you have a dirty cop that plants evidence on people.
Yep.
And they're all
People that were all guilty.
and they were all in this one. It's kind of like Mob of the Dead in a sense, where they're in their
It's
own
another
personal hell.
purgatory hell thing.
But this one has special shit.
boys.
Yeah, this one has Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Like
Cthulhu.
actual Cthulhu. You play as a tentacle creature to unlock certain areas of the map or
Yeah.
do certain things. And this is where you meet the Shadow Man. The Shadow Man is perceived to be the overarching enemy of all of zombies. He was the one that sent the meteor of 115. He was the one that did all this, and this, and this, and this, and this. He set all these events in
He
motion.
made the domino effect that made everything happen.
And you start going through Black Ops 3, unraveling the story of how to beat him.
Yep.
You learn about the Apothecans in the first map. And in the first map, since it's the fact that it's like a 60s based thing, everything is super 60s based. So all the perks get their own little 60s jingle.
Yeah.
Juggernaut gets a remaster. I think both of the jingles are really good. Speed Cola gets another jingle. It's really good.
I like the Widow's Wine that came out,
Yeah, Widow's Wine is such an intense perk too.
but I hated that fucking map so much.
I actually really like that map.
I didn't like it.
Did not like it at all.
I didn't like it at first, but after replaying it and appreciating it for what it brought in,
The style of what it was cool, but I really fucking hated just the map itself.
I thought it was a really good representation of what time it was trying to present.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone
Visu-
spoke of things of that time. 'Cause-
Visually, it was great.
oh, it was it was probably one of
Map-
the prettiest maps.
Map design wise, just how the alleyways were and shit,
Yeah, but there wasn't that many alleyways though.
No, but there was like when it was open, it wasn't like there were.
I
parts
thought
in
it
the
was
way.
like Origins, where it was the perfect balance between semi-open, fully open, and then
I
enclosed.
just never really felt fully open in most places.
Dude, there were so many places that were just.
It was.
So
I didn't
open.
feel like it was open at all.
Like there was a big open parking lot area, but it was filled with cars, so
Yeah.
it wasn't open.
That was the only place I felt like I could train.
Yeah.
Was in that one section. Now the Easter egg, we got about 3/4 of the way through the Easter egg.
Dude,
Yeah.
Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead and break it to everyone because if we're on the topic of Easter egg, I'm probably not going to touch on World War II at all. I'm the only person in this room who has played World War II Zombies and done the Easter eggs.
Yeah.
They are so incredibly easy and boring, they are not even worth the time of day to talk about them.
Damn, got him.
Fuck you, World War II. Sledgehammer, I love you as a company, but fuck World War II.
Y'all should have been able to make Advanced Warfare 2.
I know you couldn't, but
So,
Y'all got shit on.
with
so.
that map, I don't know why I'm not able to remember the name. Otherwise, I would have said it by now.
shit.
What, the map name?
Yeah. If I would have remembered, I would have said it by now, but I've just kind of had
Shadows of Evil.
Shadows of Evil. Thank you so much. Shadows of Evil was a good map to me. I thought it represented everything flawlessly.
I thought the style was great. I loved the music. I loved the world it presented. I just did not like the way it was lined out.
Yeah. And
Because I love that era.
the Easter egg, you're fighting these kind of... You're fighting the Apothecans, technically, but
And
they're
aren't those
not
like the worshippers of the Shadow Man that turned into
No,
creatures?
they're not the worshippers. They're the worshippers of Dr. Monty.
But I mean, they were the worshippers of creatures like that became creatures. They weren't
Yeah.
necessarily what they are
And
now.
As of right... Well, you don't learn about the Apothecans in that. You don't... All you learn is
You just kind of
there's something called the Aether, which is a type of realm, which is what Origins is.
Yeah.
Origins, they're both in the Aether. That's after the events of Black Ops 3, apparently. And with it, it's super fucking weird. This is whenever the plot gets so damn convoluted. Because you capture the Shadow Man, and you theoretically end everything. But then, Rick Toffin shows up. We don't know how he got there, but he made a portal, got there, grabbed a little orb that held the Shadow Man, and he went to do something, and he accidentally released the Shadow Man. And this
Rick
is...
Toffin out here accidentally doing way too much.
Yeah. He is trying to destroy the entire universe because it's like, we can't save it.
Yeah.
We might as well just delete
Just
everything.
wipe it.
He intended to make a new universe, but he didn't intend to be a part of it. He was afraid of death, but he knew he had to die. So he was willing everyone was willing to make the sacrifice of their universe getting erased.
So that's what they had to do during this, was they had to kill their other character.
To get rid of all of the distortions in time so they can delete the universe. But there are things later on that prevent them from doing that. We go to the next map, which is Dreisendrach.
Yeah.
That one,
Dreisendrach is my second favorite zombies map.
that one is another love-hate. Love the style. Love the aesthetic. It is fucking... Visually, I love it. I couldn't get into it enough.
I like it.
Story-wise, I couldn't get into it enough. Just as a map, it's fucking awesome.
See,
But
I
just
got
couldn't get
super
into the Easter
far
egg.
into the Easter egg.
I got to the very end.
I
couldn't beat the guy at the end.
I got 2 steps away from completing the Easter egg, and then Barracuda fucked everything for it.
Really?
He wouldn't... So, my friend... Alright, so this is different from Barracuda. My friend lagged out of the game.
Yeah.
And you don't need more than... You can beat it with one person. That is how that Easter egg works. My friend Barracuda, though, just wouldn't stop dying.
Really?
He just kept dying, and I was like, dude, literally just use your bow and protect yourself. And he's like, I'm trying. Then run away. And he was like, oh, it's not that simple. Yeah, it kind of is.
Sometimes it's not.
Bro,
On Dreisendrach, that's all it takes.
like I
Everything
said,
leads to everywhere.
I liked everything about it. I just... By this point, I was kind of out of the story because it started getting weird.
Yeah, it
But
came very weird.
what got us put in the coffin was the fact that he died at the rocket.
Really?
Also, they
And
started.
when I went to go revive him, and before I could even get to him, because I was having to go through like the billions of zombies he kept with him. Because I don't know why he did that. I don't know why he didn't let me have the zombies. I told him to let me have them. He was like, no, they won't follow me. And here they are. They, were there.
But
He died before that.
They started to rely on boss fights for Easter eggs, and I was like,
The boss fight with that was much less of a boss fight than it was just you're still playing zombies. You have to do an extra step.
But I'm just talking about from here on out, they started to rely on something like that.
But you had to.
Like I said, I got to the end. I got to the end of it, and I could not defeat that last boss guy because I ran out of ammo. There was nothing I could do.
The
And there were
hardest
so many
part
zombies around.
about that Easter egg was getting the Ragnaroks.
Yeah.
The boss fight, if you know what you're doing, you can demolish it. But the only problem is the fact that there are like endless panzers that spawn. Oh yeah, the Panzer made a comeback in this map because this map was Germany. It was near. I can't remember exactly where it was, like Abenfire or something like that.
I'm not sure,
Let me see.
but
It started with an A or something like that.
it was a castle basically.
Yeah, and if you don't know, Dreisendracht in German stands for the Steel Dragon,
It was
or the Iron Dragon. Sorry.
Griffin Castle in Werfen, Salzburg, Austria.
Oh, Austria.
Annexed by Germany. But it was at the time part of Germany.
That's one of my favorite maps, just because I love the bows.
Yeah, I really like
The bows are so good.
Yeah.
You have these bows that are elemental bows.
Weren't the quote unquote dogs back, but as dragons?
Mhm.
I thought that was cool as hell.
And the dragons were essentially what the dogs do, except they had a whole lot more to the story than the dogs did.
Yeah.
The dogs did make a comeback as a spirit wolf.
Yeah.
And the spirit wolf was a very vital point to the story. That is how you get the wolf bow, which is the one I use
The
all
wolf
the time.
bow is badass.
I have legitimately memorized every single step and how to do it.
Yeah.
I remember getting to the one part to the very end where you guys shoot off the map
Yeah.
at that little rock part. I had trouble always trying to get the bow right there.
That's true. But, alright, so I think that's all the time we can use for Dreisendracht.
What is the next map?
The next map would be Zetsubo no Shima. Zetsubo no Shima is the one for Tokyo.
God.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Good design map. Got some very cool areas.
Yeah.
I still don't like the map though.
I don't
like
like the map.
I don't like the way they have to do power.
No, I like the way you
I
do
don't
power.
like that creature that fucking eats you.
Oh, the spiders?
No. There was another big creature.
Oh,
thing
yeah,
that
yeah,
eats you.
yeah.
I didn't like that. I liked the spiders. I thought the
You're
spiders
talking
were
about
cool.
the one that pulled you in and then you can watch it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
About like the Gorgon type thing?
Yeah.
I didn't like that. But I
See-
did like the spiders.
Yeah, I like the
The
spiders.
thing with Zetsubo no Shima, I can't tell you things about the Easter egg. I personally do not know. All I know is you end up fighting a giant spider. That's
Yeah.
all. That's legitimately all I know.
You also see old Takeo.
Yeah, and spoiler alert, he kills himself.
Yeah. Well, they end up killing each
Each one
each
of them.
one
He-
of themselves.
Chose the honorable way out and did seppuku, where you dig your katana into your stomach and
Go to the
from
other
one
side.
And then he had the other Takeo chop his head off so he didn't feel the pain. That is an actual thing for military soldiers, well, at least back in the day for Japan. If they dishonored, but they still had enough honor for them to be seen as a worthy soldier, they would kill themselves and someone would chop their head off, so they didn't feel pain.
But yeah, I liked the spiders. I one part I really liked was the seeing yourself thing in the room with the test tubes with the main characters in them.
Yeah.
Seeing your evil
Yeah.
self, that was cool.
Well, they
That was-
weren't
that was-
evil, but like.
But like that jump scare where it was like the
Yeah.
fake you, that was cool. I like that.
And there was an Easter egg for it that a lot of people didn't know about unless you were attempting to do the Easter egg. It made it a lot easier, actually. You could become a spider.
Really?
You could go up to a facility, get inside of a cage, and control a spider. And you can kill zombies and shit. It's
Damn.
so cool.
Yep.
It wasn't required for the Easter egg or anything, but a lot of people did it for the Easter egg. And that's basically all I have to... Oh, the Wonder Weapon. I
remember
don't
the
exactly
Wonder
remember what the Wonder Weapon was. All I know is it was kind of like an acid launcher.
Weapon. Oh, I didn't remember the Wonder Weapon. I didn't play that one enough. Just because the power annoyed the shit out of me.
Where you had to get the buckets of water.
Yeah, that annoyed the hell
I actually
out
thought that
of
was an
me.
interesting mechanic.
It was an interesting mechanic, but like it just gets tedious.
That was the point of it.
I don't like things that are tedious just to be tedious.
I'm not a big fan of things that are tedious just to be tedious. I'm not a big fan of things that are just tedious in general.
Yeah.
As you know, these two know
So
about
so
me.
that alone made it to where I played it less.
And that brings us on to the
Gorod Krovi.
final map, Gorod Krovi, where the dragons come back. Except for actually dragons.
Played Gorod Krovi like 3 times.
I was not the biggest fan of Gorod Krovi.
Yeah.
I thought it was overhyped.
It was so overhyped. Oh
I
my
thought it was
God.
overhyped just because there was dragons you could ride.
I thought it was overhyped because at the time we thought that was it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we thought that was going to be the end.
They
And
sold
you-
it as that was it.
And you end up going to a house that people believed was Samantha's house, but it wasn't.
Wait, Gorod Krovi wasn't the last
No,
one.
Revelations.
Revelations
Was the
was
last one.
I'm going off of like the 4.
Mm.
But Revelations, I don't like that map. I thought it was a really badly made map.
Yeah, those last 2 just I didn't have fun with.
But this was right as they were bringing in Zombie Chronicles, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zombies Chronicles. Well, Zombie Chronicles was after Revelations.
Zombies Chronicles saved the series because like I said, Gorod Krovi overhyped as shit.
Yeah.
Revelations,
Now,
while it wrapped up the story
The-
for now, quote unquote.
thing with Gorod Krovi that I believe it deserved a lot of its hype, but not all of it, is the fact that it has one of the coolest Easter eggs in Zombies. It wasn't like everything else where it was blow up this meteorite, go catch the chunk, and if you miss, you have to restart the entire Easter egg, and this is the second to last step. It was, you have to fidget with like radios and shit, and go to like certain frequencies, and you have to like pinpoint things on maps of Russia and like different
Yeah.
things of Germany, and you're basically going along the line of Stalingrad, and it's just such an interesting map.
Yeah, I like the puzzle Easter eggs.
And the only reason why I don't like the map is a lot of its design was wasted when they made it to where you had to use the dragons to get everywhere.
Yeah.
Because the Pack-a-Punch room, you had to use the dragon to get there. Okay, but could there be another way where I could walk, possibly? Please?
Well, it's the
There's
same
not.
thing with Mob of the Dead. You couldn't get there without making the plane.
But Mob of the Dead was the... See, I get that it's hypocritical for me to say that when I do enjoy Mob of the Dead's, but it wasn't another area per se. It was a house. A fucking house. And it was just worthless to the story. You would activate something and then a bunch of zombies would bum rush the windows.
It just felt, for Black Ops 3, it just felt like they were like, how much fantasy can we throw into this thing that was originally science-based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they, by the time they got to Dragons, I was like, okay, I'm out.
And then
I'm good.
Revelations, I've played that map twice in total.
Oh, I played it a few
I
times.
played it a few times, and the story for it is cool, I guess. But
I didn't like the story for it.
But I liked the twist of, oh shit, Monty's trying to fucking do some shit.
It was the fact that Monty's trying to delete the universe.
Yeah, and then they were like, nah, fam.
I like the fact that it brought other, like, older maps and smushed them together
Yeah.
into one map. Was kind of cool.
The
But
fun.
the overarching story of it was very convoluted.
Now, the only thing about Revelations I respect it for is the fact that the Thunder Gun came back.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what the Thunder Gun is, it is the second most famous wonder weapon. Right next to the ray gun. Right before the Wunderwaffe.
Thunder Gun's fucking amazing.
The
Oh,
Thunder
the
Gun
Wunderwaffe.
did unlimited damage. But it wouldn't one-shot bosses for some reason, even though it did unlimited damage.
I love the Thunder Gun.
But, you know,
It was just, it felt so good to have.
yeah.
I'd rather have the Wunderwaffe.
Yeah.
And there were so many things about it that it just didn't make sense.
The Easter
They dropped
egg,
the ball
the
at the end.
Easter egg for it was, to me,
Lackluster.
I've watched people do it, but like there's one section where you have to shoot these asteroids.
Yeah, shoot a specific
But you have to
one.
shoot a specific one, and it changes every time. But it's shoot a specific one, and you're not supposed to shoot the other ones, and it doesn't tell you which one to shoot.
It's so annoying, dude.
Yeah, it's very annoying.
It's all based upon like a map that you
Yeah.
see on which one you're supposed to shoot. It's
But
so stupid.
yeah, they really dropped the ball at the end of that, and I feel like they sort of recovered in the next one, but that's what we get to.
All right. And now that we've talked about Black Ops 3 and the convoluted mess it is, Black Ops 4 is
Convoluted mess.
even more convoluted.
Yeah.
Because you start off in a map called Classified. Canonically, that happens first.
Yep.
Which is before Moon. But Tank Dempsey shot a bullet and apparently it fucked up the teleporter somehow. I don't.
And now it's after Moon and before Moon
Yes,
at the same
at the
time.
same time.
Yeah. And you're
It's-
at the Pentagon where 5 happened. And
But
it's happening
after 5.
No, it's at the same time of 5.
It's at the same time.
Same time. Which is so weird because it's like they go down the elevator.
That's so stupid.
Yeah, it's so weird.
That's so. The map is cool, but like they started to just remaster shit and give bullshit reasons for it.
Yeah. I hate things that just show up and then they give bullshit reasons for it. Me and Crip had a discussion about another game yesterday about it.
Yeah.
Well, not about this game, but it was the same thing.
The same topic of making a bullshit reason just for remastering purposes.
Yeah, and I talked about how I'm not the biggest fan. I like Classified as a map. I thought it was a very well done map, but I
Yes.
thought story-wise it just didn't make sense
Yeah.
at all.
But it's just 5 again.
Yeah. Supposedly, Classified happens before 5. That's the general assumption.
It's weird.
Because 5 happens after the zombies have already
Yeah.
shown up and taken over the Pentagon. And they eradicate the zombies. So that means 5 happens after Classified.
But I liked it. I thought it was a good
Yeah, I
map.
thought it was a good map. It was just the story's getting too
Here.
wrapped around in itself.
We have been doing this for 2 hours.
Yeah.
I think we should just break this up into 2 parts.
At this
I think
point,
we-
we're almost done, though.
But if
But-
we do another part, we can talk about all of zombies.
But
we
here's the
could bring up Advanced Warfare.
here's the thing.
Zombies
Let's finish the last couple maps though,
Yeah.
because let's be honest, we don't have strong opinions on the next few
No.
maps.
All
do
right,
we?
so the next map, and this is not within the overarching story. This is outside of it.
This is a completely different story.
Voyage of Despair, worst map in zombies history. Fight me on it. Your opinion is invalid to me.
Basically, you're on the Titanic going down, and there's
oh
zombies.
shit!
Wow.
Don't even talk about those. I'm talking about the main shit.
No, because
that
there's
was
one.
not the selling point.
No, there's one I want to touch on because I love it.
Ugh.
But Voyage of Despair is the worst fucking map in zombies history. It has the worst ending for an Easter
They
egg.
took one part of Call of the Dead and tried to fucking sell it.
They took the ice part and then tried to sell it.
Moving on to the next map.
The next map is 9, otherwise known as IX. I love that map.
It was such a good map.
It was so good. It's so underrated.
Yes.
Nobody talks about how good that map
We
is.
can't talk about the story of that because we don't have time. We're trying to wrap this up.
We'll go to Blood of the Dead.
Blood of the Dead. It is the story that continues after Mob of the Dead. Not canonically. It's not right after, but it's right after the events
But
of...
you bring up
It's
the,
right after the events of Gorod Krovi. Revelations canonically was deleted.
Yes.
All of that was deleted.
Yes, but
So-
it's after Garrod Grovey.
And they start going through, and a Richtofen shows up and starts talking to the other Richtofen, saying, this is what you need to do. That Richtofen that showed up gets deleted.
Yep.
Well, he technically can't be because of something that happens during this.
But he changed the timeline mid-match.
Yes, this map is what changes the timeline. They have the blood of the people from Mob of the Dead. They're supposed to drink it to protect themselves from something. They don't know what it is. Just the book that they have that tells them everything they need to do says, drink the blood. And they drink the blood. They realize that once they try to delete the universe, they can't because they have the... Well, they tried to save themselves from the universe being deleted. Sorry,
Yes.
let me be more specific. And because they had shit from that had already been deleted in their blood, they had to be deleted as well.
Yes.
And during Blood of the Dead, you realize Monty is the bad guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the Shadow Man was the good guy trying to stop him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because he tried to use the apothecants to stop the zombies. 115 was there to reopen the Aether so he could take it over and make the universe good again.
Yes.
Monty ends up being the bad guy and fucks everyone over.
And isn't the last one Alpha Omega?
No. The next one is Alpha Omega.
But that's not the last one.
Alpha Omega ends up being you are working with Samantha and Maxis to stop the zombies and stop Monty. Monty ends up killing Maxis during that.
Yeah.
He turns into an apothecant and eats him.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Monty doesn't know that Maxis is working against him yet, but he overhears him on a radio talking to them saying, Monty will soon find out what I've done. He will kill me. Mm-hmm. And it cuts to a scene where it shows Samantha talking to all of them saying, he killed my father.
Yeah.
He ate him while he was talking to you guys. So we need to kill him. And it gets to the final map. I'm sorry that we're having to rush through all this. I would love to go more in depth on some of these. Alpha Omega was a good map.
But the thing is Black Ops 4, it's heavily story, but like a lot of the maps.
And then we get to the final map, which is Night of Tagdertoten, which is Night of the Dead or something like that. And it's just it's
Tagdertoten is Day of the Dead.
I was about to say it's Day. I'm thinking about it, but it's not a good map. They tried to take Mob of the Dead and they ruined every bit of it. There's no fog.
Or Call of the Dead.
Yeah, Call of the Dead. They took Call of the Dead. There's no fog. George Romero's not there. I mean, there's something saying George Romero to honor him, but every single bit of it is wrong.
Yeah.
They didn't even bring back the MP40 on the boat. There's not even a gun there.
Yeah, I knew we'd get to this point because you would have been the only one playing it.
Yeah.
Because it just got too convoluted for me, and they kept just remastering things for the sake of remastering.
I was really fucking pissed about it because Call of Dead is what brought me into the zombies. Like, I enjoyed playing it, but that's what immersed me into it.
You can tell by the way this podcast went.
Yeah. And it was so disappointing to see one of the best maps in zombies ruined just because they wanted to get a few extra bucks off the DLC.
Yeah.
They could have just done Zombies Chronicles 2 and brought it back. I would have paid $50 for something.
I'm going to be honest. At this point, I don't really care about the story.
I don't care anymore. They've already ended the story completely.
Yeah, at this point, zombies.
At the end of Tagdertoten, the universe gets wiped, and we do not know what happens afterwards.
No.
But Cold War is not going to have the zombies storyline we know. No. As of right now, it is not confirmed.
From what they've said, it's going to be something completely different.
It's a brand new zombies.
But they could pull it out of their butts like they did last time.
Before, yeah.
And the whole thing with it is the fact that Nikolai ends up being the main character.
Yeah, he takes over.
He ends up being the all-wise, kind of genius.
Because I don't think this version of Nikolai was a drunk.
This version of Nikolai, as soon as the zombie virus started, put down the bottle. Because he realized that he blamed himself for his wife's death, and that's why he started drinking. Yeah. And after Gorod Krovi seeing himself in that mech where he was a drunk.
Complete drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, he was fucked up.
He was just so ashamed of himself that... And he wanted to let that Nikolai live. He really wanted to. But that Nikolai fired a bullet at him after, he was already defeated. He was like, you're so drunk that you haven't even realized you've lost. Yeah. But...
Throughout most of this, it's like Rick Toffin's been the one that's...
Been the mastermind.
And then... for
Black Ops 4... I feel like the character development in Black Ops 4 was immaculate. Because Nikolai taking over that role of the leader was such a beautiful thing, because you would never have expected that from a drunken character.
You would have thought Tank would take over.
Yeah, you would think Tank, Takio.
Those are... Sure. Because Takio's wise as shit.
Yeah, Takio's always been the one of, don't talk lightly of hell.
Yeah.
Don't talk lightly of all this shit. Say it as it is. Yeah. Say it as if it has meaning. And then Nikolai is just, I'm so drunk, I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Yeah. I'm just shooting shit. I don't even know if I'm even here.
Yeah.
And then he ends up being the best character in the series. Tank Dempsey, I love you so much. You're probably still my favorite character. But Nikolai ends up being the better character. Yeah. He has the most change. the most story and just generally most interesting plot. And he kills everyone.
Yeah.
He poisons them. And then he kills himself to end the timeline. And he tells Samantha and young Eddie, you two are going to be the ones who have to finish this. And that ends the current zombies storyline.
The Ether storyline.
The Ether storyline.
Damn.
We'll come back on another podcast.
I would love to talk about the others.
And we will bring up the, what's the other one from Black Ops 3? What do they call it? Not the Ether. The other storyline.
Are you talking about Ultimus and Primus?
No. There's the Ether storyline, which has the Ultimus and Primus. And then the one that's 9 is called something
That's
else.
Black Ops 4. That's the Chaos storyline.
Chaos storyline.
We can talk about that. We can talk about Advanced Warfare.
Yeah, I want to talk about all. And unfortunately, I will talk about World War II, and I will talk about all the things for
We
it.
will talk about the other side of
There are
selling zombies.
There are some interesting things about World War II.
We'll talk about the other zombies next time.
Hopefully, we can record this soon because we've been planning to do this podcast for like 6 months now.
Yeah. I made these special drinks 6
God,
months
here
ago,
it goes.
and they've been sitting there.
But they've been bottled.
They've been
It's not
bottled,
like
so
they
they've
went
been
bad.
fine. But we'll wrap it here, and we'll come back with another one soon. Hit us up on our Instagram, Jack_and_Geek_Pod. Go on to our Facebook, Jack and Geek Pod.
Subscribe to Tribunal Entertainment on YouTube.
We're on Spotify, because if you're listening to this, you probably already know about our Spotify. Shadow has his own YouTube, if you want to plug that.
At DarthShadowXX at YouTube.com. I post rare, like ever. Hopefully I can get better at that.
But we will see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.